And now, our feature presentation.
Hey guys, I'm Scarfy.
I'm Naka.
And I'm Krüz.
And welcome to Subwuffer Entertainment, a determinedly drunk, geeky, and cheerful podcast where wolves we house in a tree we entertain. See, I told you the treehouse would still be a part of our hearts. Sets a lot like a music appreciation class. We talk about what's going on certain topics and see how people react to them in certain ways. And that song that you were listening to was
8-bit version of Attack of the Dead Men by Sabaton.
Well,
we'll talk about soon.
Well, I am certainly glad to hear that because, Krüz, you're back from Hungary. Oh my god, I've never been more happy in my entire life.
Yes. I got back this summer. We went back to Czech Republic and Austria, and then get back midsummer, and mostly working. Then went to Philadelphia, which was a lot of fun to go there again. And
so, Naka, how have you been?
John Madden football. That's how I.
John Madden. Football.
John Madden football. That's really all you have to say.
Yes, John Madden football.
But yes, that was the whole reason why we decided to end our well, I guess you could say go on hiatus for a time, because Krüz was in Hungary and we just could not handle his schedule, and it was just in the morning and we just couldn't do it anymore.
Well,
So
I didn't really
we are
care.
back with
You
our own
cared.
schedule.
I
Yeah,
didn't
it
really
was-
care. You're the one who had a problem with it.
Well,
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I
I'm
don't
honestly
really
happy
care.
it
I'm the
worked
one
out
who
as long
runs
as it did,
everything.
because even still, it was a lot of fun to be able to just still talk about stuff.
but anyway, I am glad you're back. By the way, don't Set has been brought to you by Streamlabs. We are a non-profit podcast, but we use this as our go-to for making more episodes and helping me bigger and better than ever before by purchasing equipment or other visual means. Please don't feel obligated. We are not asking for money to pay the rent, but if you have the heart to donate, it is greatly appreciated.
No, please give us your money.
You say if the treehouse is gone, we don't have any rent.
He's kidding, chat. Don't actually give us your money if you have to pay rent and other things that are more
No, if you
important to
have
but really,
obligations, by all means, actually fulfill those.
I agree.
Like a charity day stream, except it's not charity.
So, guys, we have a lot to talk about, don't we, guys?
Yes. I
Yeah.
guess. Sure. Give us your money.
I love how I love how unprepared we are with the whole yes. Anyway. Krüz, you have a lot to talk about with music, so why don't we get right on with it?
Let's just jump on into it. Well, yeah, a lot of stuff came out since we've been away. There's a list I have a run off of the releases that I thought were the most spectacular. So first off was Amon Amarth with Berserker. So the Swedish Vikings, they returned their first studio album with new drummer Jack Wahlgren. He joined in 2016, but that was after the last album was recorded. They used a session drummer with that one. So, but this album definitely a little different than some other older albums, but I definitely could say Fafner's Gold is the best song. It starts out the same pacing as Battery. Really good. And the intro was done by one of the guitar players from Animals as Leaders. Next is Rammstein. Yes, it finally happened. They came back. The long-awaited album from the new German harness pioneers, Rammstein, a self-titled album with a simple match for the album cover. It's been welcomed and celebrated by fans for its excellence.
So I do have to comment on Rammstein real quick. It was kind of interesting. They were recently in the news for having two of the male band members kiss on stage, which caused this whole uproar on Twitter. But you kind of get what you pay for when you. I think they shoot with like a dildo gun. I'm not too sure.
Penis cannon, the dick cannon. Yeah. I guess the context for that thing was they were playing a show in Russia, and it was protest to the whatever anti-LGBT law. And Rammstein is to Germany as Sex Pistols are to UK, so they're kind of like you're not. You get what you're not gonna keep. You're not. No one puts baby in a corner. So Rammstein don't give a fuck. And personally, like, they have had like bondage, like sort of themed stuff in their past, and so like, well,
Anyway, let's continue.
yeah, definitely. Weitweg is definitely the best song of the album, and the song that thing happened on was Ostlander, which is also a really good song. And yes, the one that was our intro thing was from this one, Sabaton, The Great War. Quite possibly the most grandiose effort from Sabaton yet. The album, as the title implies, focuses on the Great War, World War One. In general, as from the song The Great War, as well as certain specific battles from the Future of Warfare, Fields of Verdun, and the individual soldiers, 82nd All the Way, Red Baron, Ghost in the Trenches, and I seem to also say Attack of the Dead Men. Which is attack of the Russians at Auschwitz Fortress, who had been facing poison gas, and men that should have been dead faced a German charge, and the Germans were actually shit themselves and ran. That's only a slight exaggeration.
When in
And
doubt,
it
shit the
also-
bed. Oh,
Yeah.
by the way, just an FYI, We cleared this before the show started. I'm not copying and pasting everything in the summer review. Somebody will probably just put it in the description down below when the VOD is put out, but whatever. That's why you're not seeing everything copy and pasted. You'll know when we copy and paste stuff and when that starts.
And guys, just another announcement. You may notice that we're going a little bit faster here. That's just because we're trying our very damnedest to avoid a 4-hour show because we are not doing that shit again. Anyway, continue, Krüz.
No, if we end up doing that,
good.
If we end up having a 4-hour
was this extra life?
Hold on. Before Krüz continues, I just want to make a short thing. Before we start doing that, at that point, I'll just be like, you know what? I'm just going to pull out my Switch, or I'm just going to turn on the Xbox, turn on the Elgato, and we're just going to do a fucking Let's Play. Anyway, go on.
Continue?
Yes, go on.
And aside from the Great War in general, the battles, and the soldiers and the heroes, in the Red Baron, I think it's the coolest intro of I don't know how to pronounce it correctly, Little Fugi by Johann Sebastian Bach on a rock organ. I think that was really cool. I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing that one live. I was going to say this in the chat, but I'll say it right here. Normally, Chan's Fant Sabaton. But in Germany, because recently Sabaton, I think a few weeks ago, Sabaton played at Gamescom in Germany, and the German fans there chant "Noch ein Bier," which means one more beer. And yeah, it's a whole thing. And finally, this album also talks about the effects of war, which the long song title, "The End of the War to End All Wars," literally talks about the impact, like 15 to 20 million dead is one of the lines, and finishes off with a mournful choral cover of the poem "In Flanders Fields." I think overall this, while it's not technically a concept album, operates like one because it has kind of a flow to it, because with the way the first song, Future of Warfare, starts and the way it ends with the end of the War to End All Wars ends with, like, you just hear shells hitting the ground in the background, that kind of like distant explosion sound, and then there's just the haunting chorus of "In Flanders Fields." I think that's really cool. I love what Sabaton did with this album, and I look forward to seeing them live in November.
All right, one interjection. It reminds me of the intro to "One" by Metallica. Anyway, go on. We're keeping interjections to a minimum. Just wanted to say that.
Yeah, Sabaton has done a few things with, like, Panzerkampf had like tanks in the beginning, and some other songs do that, like Art of War. So the next is a band that I also went to see this summer at Knotfest Roadshow. Volbeat, Rewind, Replay, Rebound. Even though Volbeat has, for the most part, slipped away from heavy metal since was it Gangster Gentlemen, Shady Ladies, something like that, and more towards straight rock, they still show that they've got heaviness in songs like The Everlasting, and the inclusion of Exodus/Slayer guitarist Gary Holt in Cheapside Sloggers, which seems to be about, because it mentions on the song Peaky Blinders, which reminds me I still have to watch that show because people said it's really good. While Pelvis on Fire burns with pure rockabilly goodness. I mean, Volbeat's setlist live is probably the ideal setlist because it covers from they do some of their more rock songs, like, I think, yeah, one of their songs, like Last Day Under the Sun, literally sounds like Glory Days. But so yes, they've been all over the place, but I think that they still got that in their DNA to, like, have that punch on some of their songs. And they're really good live as well. And so they played at Knotfest Roadshow with Slipknot, Volbeat, Gojira, and Behemoth. I know you, Naga, saw Gojira, and they were really good. Naga, especially Heaviest Mare in the Universe. That's probably my favorite song by them. Anyway, up to the headliner of that show, Slipknot. We Are Not Your Kind. This was the first rock metal rock/metal. I almost fucking my speech impediment. Rock/metal album to debut at #1 on Billboard since the Foo Fighters album Concrete and Gold in 2017, Slipknot keeps true to their style with songs like Unsainted, Birth of the Cruel, and Solway Firth, while doing some other offshoot / experimental songs like My Pain and Spiders. Coupled with the single release came out last Halloween, All Out Life, which they did play live, and was also the title of the album, We're Not Your Kind, is repeated in that song. This is living proof that metal isn't planning to die anytime soon.
It was kind of funny. I was looking at Slipknot, and I was really like intrigued about how people really think that. Well, actually, no. I believe who's the main? Is Corey Taylor in this album?
Yeah, he's the singer of Slipknot.
Okay. But is he in this album? Is what I'm trying to say.
I mean, yes, he sings for the band. I don't. What are you asking? Is he in the album?
Well, actually, I actually had a question that I was going to ask, but it's a different type of it belongs to a different type of band, but it's fine. Anyway, continue.
We are not your god. Yes, the next HammerFall Dominion. This one I kind of just saw this announcement come out of left field, but I definitely welcome it. Another Swedish contribution, HammerFall delivers delicious chef's kiss riffs aplenty, especially on songs like Never Forgive, Never Forget, Dominion, and Testify, my personal favorite. With a tribute to all their predecessors and contemporaries with We Make Sweden Rock. So I think that this, as compared to Built to Last, their last album, this one's definitely more straight. It goes towards straight rock, straight heavy metal versus their typical power metal sound. But I think that they still keep their own flair with it, and they're also going to be touring with Sabaton, so I'll be able to see them as well. Hopefully, perform some of the new songs. And now we get to the next thing that has debuted at number 1, Tool, Fear Inoculum. Yes, the prophecy has come true.
It took a while for this album to come out.
It took 13 years. It was quite a drought, but it definitely got the respect it deserved by debuting on the Billboard charts at number 1, ahead of Taylor Swift's Artificially Inflated album, which had at least, I think, 4 bundle packs. Come on, that's like you cheated and you still lost.
I love how you say like when it comes to Tool and Taylor Swift, you said Taylor Swift is artificially inflated, and I laugh at that so hard. But anyway, I'm a huge fan of Tool, and one of the things that I really like about this album is that I actually get to listen and experience this is basically what I like to say what I like to call Tool as the school of heavy metal. Basically, if you want to know heavy metal, this is the album to go to, or the band to go to.
Yeah, Dan from Game Grumps said, like, he's also a big Tool fan as well. He said, I'm not a very religious person, but this is the Tool concert is the closest thing I've had to a religious experience. And also I found out my religion, whatever class teacher, he's went to a Tool concert back in the day. But yeah, the reason I say artificially is because, if you have there's like 4 different versions of the Lover album, and that's kind of like, come on. Usually the most you do is a regular and then a deluxe version, which might include some remastered, some live songs, or whatever exclusive shit you want to include. But yeah, I've listened to the whole thing. Yeah, advice: take a seat, put on some headphones, and prepare to delve into the depths of the human psyche and come back a changed person, because Tool is less of heavy metal and more of just an auditory experience of the senses. It's like, I mean, you might think it pretentious to be like, oh, you got a whole 5-minute interlude or whatever drum solo bullshit. Yeah, that's a thing. That's an unfortunate truth with the prog metal and stuff like that. I mean, Dream Theater is just the same shit. I don't know. But this, I think it's been a long time coming for a lot of people, and even though 46 and 2 is still my favorite Tool song, absolutely, I do yes, Scarfy, I do enjoy Schism. But this album definitely has been a long time coming and is duly welcomed by fans.
I am hopefully glad. I am very, very glad to hear that. So without further ado, please continue.
Yep, and we got one more group of releases. So Trivium has been at work doing a few side projects. They re-recorded their song Pillars of Serpents, which of course since I think it was off their first album. So their most recent drummer, Alex Benz, the octopus himself, because if you see him play, he's flailing around. It's absurd, but he's a great drummer. So yeah, it's heavy as shit. It's so good. And then there's I Don't Want to Be Me, a cover of Typo Negative, which sounds really good. Cover of the Den Kennedys' Kill the Poor, and a new song, Drowning in the Sound. And the new song sounds great. They're kind of continuing the momentum off of their 2017 album, Sin in the Sentence. And, well, we'll see whenever announcements for a new album comes out, because, I mean, I would love to see them in concert again, because Matt is an awesome singer and guitar player, and I caught one of Corey's picks their last show. So, yeah, I'm really excited to see what they have to do in the future.
I'm really, really excited that Trivium is actually doing this.
Yeah, and I thought, I know I didn't get a reaction or response, but I know what you, Naka, thought of their cover of Kill the Poor, because I know you listen to Den Kennedys more than I do.
I really enjoyed the cover. It was really, because the thing with covers is that sometimes there's covers that can be shit. Looking at you, Avril Lavigne, with Fuel on like the MTV Music Awards in 2009, whatever the fuck. But if you do a good cover and you're like a great band, you're good. You're good.
When you're right, you're right. I mean, I think that I like that they did some things that are kind of a little bit outside, because Trivium being more metalcore-ish, they're true heavy metalcore blend, and covering, goth rock with like Typo Negative and punk rock with Kill the Poor. You're really showing your versatility, which I think was the really cool thing of them to do. So they've got a great future ahead of them still. And now on to the things that are still to come.
The nitty gritty.
Yeah, as I was writing this next one, another song came out from this album, but it'll come out soon enough. So these albums aren't coming out. The ones that are come after this are coming out sooner, but this one, I want to talk about the ones that have songs out already. And the first one is Hell Yeah, Welcome Home.
I'm not copying and pasting these, right?
Well, there's only two.
There's only two, but because we'll be talking about them probably later this season.
Yeah, sure. Well,
I think we'll leave it in. We'll do it in post.
Edit in post.
Yeah.
It'll be in the doobly-doo down below.
We get to say that. Yeah, we'll put the link in. Because I was gonna put in the new song, which is perfect, but so far, so first thing came out was the single release 333. Then there was Oh My God, the Welcome Home, the title track, and Perfect just came out recently. So after the loss of drummer Vinnie Paul, the band has toured in his honor, and they've announced that, I'll read this in order. They give special tribute to Vinnie with live covers of Pantera's Walk and I'm Broken, which I was there for, and I almost could say I'm broken because I almost broke my wrist in the mosh pit.
Oops.
It's sometimes, I think I re-injured an old tennis injury, so sometimes it still hurts from time to time, but goddamn, it was worth it. The upcoming album luckily was recorded when Vinnie was alive. As much as I know, that's true. But a new drummer has been named, is Roy Mayorga of Stone Sour, who Corey Taylor is also part of that band. He's been named the band's touring drummer. So the new song Perfect, I did link this. Okay. So whatever. So Perfect just came out, and the other songs, of course, are 333, which is a reference to Dimebag, or tribute to Dimebag, Oh My God, and Welcome Home. I think 333 sounds a lot like X from the last album. It's like a thrashy kind of opening song, which is really good.
Is 333 supposed to be the
It's
beast?
not it's not half Satan.
Okay,
yeah. Well,
I'm just asking.
Well, I don't know, but I don't know exactly how it links to Dimebag, but the band is like as like sort of implied that it does. But the line from the song says, "We're the root of half evil, reppin' 333." I think "Oh My God" has the best like chorus of them all. But yeah, I think Hell Yeah I'm glad they're really still keeping the momentum going, even though they lost a core member. And hopefully Roy, because I saw him play live. Roy did a great job live, and I think I don't know, it won't be the same, but it'll still be Hell Yeah. And Hell Yeah has always been about, even before this, they started off as paying their respects to Dimebag, who was Vinny's brother, and now to Vinny himself. So I think they're also riding on that momentum too. And the next one. Oh boy, we got a tasty one here. Dragon Force. They're back again. Extreme power metal. And this album takes its title from a bonus track that apparently only appeared on the Japanese bonus version of Ultra Beatdown, which was the last album they did with ZP as their singer. It's actually a really good song, as I heard on YouTube, but it's not available to download for US as far as I know. But Extreme Power Metal keeps the band's momentum going through lineup changes, with Epica's keyboard player Cohen Jansen filling in for Vadim Prushanov, who has departed from the band. And this was one that caught my attention. Metal YouTuber Steve Terraberry filling in for Frederick Leclerc, who, as far as from what I heard, left on good terms. Stevie T will be there for US tour dates. We don't know yet if I don't think he's going to be their full-time bassist, because he's got his own YouTube channel to run. But this has happened before. I think I might have mentioned this a while ago, but it was about Trivium, where another metal YouTuber, Jared Dines, toured with Trivium along with Avatar's frontman when Matt Heafy went to see his pregnant wife. And they have since had, that was last year, 2 years ago. They've since had twins. And Matt is a dad. He's a metal dad. But yes, good luck to Steve. And so far, the album, they've been a little more diverse since having Mark Hudson and vocals. Power Within was a lot more, rooting back to the roots of heavy metal kind of stuff. Maximum Overload was a lot of experimentation. Reaching Into Infinity was a lot of kind of finding their groove with the new style, and also still experimenting with Mark Hudson growling on Edge of the World. And this is more of like, it's Ground Force, it's cheesy but you love it.
It hasn't been the same since ZP left.
It hasn't, but I do think Mark Hudson is definitely, he's got a few albums under his belt, and he definitely has a lot of talent. But yeah, definitely, this isn't... Inhuman Rampage was definitely their peak, but they're still going strong, and they've still got a kind of, that lovable, not goofiness, but like, they're unironic. They haven't changed like their enthusiasm for playing and stuff. And they still sound really good. Not to say ZP was great for what he did with the band, and he definitely brought the band to their height, but don't sleep on Dragon Force. They're not going away anytime soon.
I'm glad to hear that. And Well, we finally come to the best part.
Yep. This is what is happening this week. There go dolls. The publisher protects me from those Voldemort. So the Google Dolls.
Shut up,
What-
Dobby.
what's the-
Shut up,
Yeah, that
Dobby.
was-
Go on.
That was an achievement hunter reference because Michael is a crazy person.
Was there a visual for this?
Yes,
Naka?
it's coming up.
It's coming up.
All right. I was just asking.
Jesus Christ! How come you always
Oh my
forget?
God!
You
Jeez.
always forget that you have
I
a 30
don't-
second delay. Yes,
I-
you do.
And I don't want the world to see me. All right, continue.
So, I think I wrote out more than I was. I wrote out more, but I think I deleted it because I'm an idiot. The title song is linked. It's Miracle Pill. It looks like a alteration of Green Day's American Idiot, as it features a hand and a heart. So the heart is not a grenade. It's supposed to be a pill, I would imagine. We're not sure what this Miracle Pill does, but you can get it by prescription only on September 13th. If you experience any side effects, well, you're fucked. I don't know. It's Google Dolls. They've been around longer than I thought. I saw they've been around since 1986. I'm like, that long?
Yeah, I showed.
Fuck.
I had to show you like they're probably their best known song that ever hit Hollywood.
The only song that everyone knows, Iris. I mean, that's like.
that didn't give a little bit.
It's like,
Oh, they made that song? No wonder I don't like it.
Well, they didn't really make that song. They kind of
It was a cover.
It was a cover.
Yeah.
Well,
Like Smash Mouth did for I'm a Believer.
Yes, and I'm just gonna say this right now, and I really want people to understand. Smash Mouth's version is way better than the original. Just saying.
Anyway, go on, Krüz.
Yeah.
Continue.
I deleted. I'm so stupid. I think I had more to say, but I don't. But do we want to go into a very dark place that we call the nothing? So, some of you who may know what I've been up to, my shenanigans this summer. One of them was I went to go and see Korn on their summer tour with Alice in Chains, which was a great show. I haven't listened to Alice in Chains extensively, but I finally got to see the other frontman. He did a good job. Really good. He sounds really good. But Korn played they played their one new song, You'll Never Find Me, which was the only one at the time. I linked Cold, which is another one that's heavier, darker, and one I like better. This was the one I was confused about because I mixed it up with another one. This was the one where a new song came out since the making of the agenda. The new song came out is Can You Hear Me, which is a little more, I guess, it sounds like it would have been, I don't know, would have been from their last album, Serenity of Suffering, which was kind of, so I'll preface it by saying this. And I think 2010 they did Path of Totality, which was when Brian Welch left the band, was after Brian left the band. He'd been out of the band for, I think, a little bit. So it was only James Monkey there. And they mainly John Davis partnered with dubstep artists to make what I think was a pretty unique album. I actually really dig that album. And then there was Paradigm Shift, which was kind of it's a step down from, like, they did a little less on the electronics, but it was still stuff there because I think Jonathan Davis is also a DJ in his solo stuff. Then came Serenity of Suffering, which was more to Korn's kind of true sound, even though they do keep that kind of electronic essence around. This album, I think they finding even better balance so far. The Can You Hear Me has a little more electronic sounding stuff, but I almost choked in my own vomit there. Oh my god.
Ew.
When you hiccup and then you just push your mouth. Yeah.
Go on.
But, yeah, cold. It's all loyal to. It's one of the heavier Korn songs that I know, and I think probably one of the heaviest I would say that I know right now. Some Korn fans would probably be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" But yeah, they promised that this album would be dark and heavy, and so far they're ready. So, September 13th. Are you ready?
So, as much as I have not listened to most of Korn's music, and I should be ashamed of myself because that's exactly what Subwoofer Entertainment thinks of me right now. Anyway, I'm kind of wondering if this album is referencing the film The Neverending Story, if only because the villain in the movie, or the supernatural force antagonist, if you will, is literally called the Nothing. And I'm kind of wondering if that has anything to to add. Another thing that I want to talk. Go ahead.
All of the lore. I think Jonathan Davis, what he said was that the Nothing was, as much as I can recall, and from a quote from an interview, said like it's the point basically where all the forces of the world or whatever are balanced, love and hate and stuff, where everything's balanced. That singularity point, that is the Nothing. It's like where everything is. It's like, I guess, like the I don't know.
And
I'll read up on it, but it's kind of like it's fitting for them because they're kind of like more deep psychological shit. Not another territory, but.
And another thing that I heard was that, I don't know if this is true or not, but apparently the lead band member made, supposedly coming from other consumers, they said that he made music about homophobia, but I'm not too sure if that was proven false. I guess it's just part of the person's life as to why.
Yeah, I believe what the reason they have a song called "Faggot" was because.
Whoa, careful.
He's saying the song title. He's saying the song title. He's not
and
actually saying the word.
It's also spelled F-A-G-E-T, but it's part of it was because Jonathan Davis was made fun of as a kid.
Oh, hey, Charlie.
He was called called certain names, and he's also abused by his stepmother and was sexually abused by a babysitter. That's it. So he's got a lot of dark, like, pieces of his past to dwell on, and I think that you have to consider that was like those songs came out on Korn's like first album. That was like 1994. Again, you have to consider the time when these things came out. This was the most edgy you could get with like descriptions like this and the outbursts like that. And nowadays, of course, if that song, or if F-A-G-E-T, if that came out in 2019, there would be a shit show. Because it came out in 1994, things are a little bit different because of the time when it happened.
Right.
And I think that it's kind of, and they also, there's also a bit of reference to that in from Fuels the Comedy by it's by Korn from Path of Totality. I won't say the lyric here, but it's like you think I'm funny, I'm shit like that. You have to consider that what Jonathan Davis has to offer in his lyrics, it definitely is like relevant to the time when it was released. And I mean, when he was the song about him being sexually abused, like you can hear in the song him, leaving the studio like crying. So there's a lot of dark stuff that Korn focuses on that's like, aside from them, they do other goofy shit in some other songs, but I like that Jonathan's been able to channel this into a relatively positive thing because there are a lot of Korn fans, and I think this culminates at the concert when Jonathan Davis said give it up for Alice in Chains, and it's like the scream one more time because it feels good. The fucking scream for me because it feels good to fucking scream. Kind of like, because there's got to be an outlet for whatever shit you go through. There's got to be an outlet, otherwise you're gonna go insane. You're gonna drive yourself insane. Right. I think for a lot of people, if not Korn is the outlet for a lot of people, and just there's sometimes things had to be talked about that people don't like.
Yeah,
and it's hard to talk about these things nowadays because a lot of people there's instant social media, like they won't read context, fuck context a lot of the time. But I think Korn's new album doesn't cover that as much, but it's like you can still hear at the end of You'll Never Find Me. It's just, it might have been, less, I don't know. It doesn't sound as real, so to speak, or genuine if it's like not on an old album, but he's like saying, fuck, damn it, and like kicking shit around. Where it's like it's the end of one of the old Slipknot songs where like you can hear like something glass being like thrown against the wall. Like,
I am so sorry. There are dogs barking next door. I need to shut down.
I don't care. Also, I'd like to point something out. Not is Chadu from Mr. Arrow HD's Twitch streams. It's me, RKD, by the way. That's what. In case you couldn't pick up who is who when I said, "Oh, hey, Chadu," I just wanted to clarify that I know who you are, and you probably didn't know. It's like, whose voice is this that recognized me as Chadu? But anyway,
Krüz, I believe that is it. That is everything.
So far, that's it for music. But let me remind you, September 13th. Let me ask you one more question.
No, because there's a lot of shit coming out Friday.
Poop. Well, that's your job to talk about now.
All right.
Go ahead, boy.
Well, first things first, we're starting off with the NASCAR playoffs update, and here's how things are going to go for the rest of the NASCAR season. Cup Series only until the Ford Championship weekend in mid-late November, and then that's when we talk about all three series final races. However, and like who won the championship and shit. Anyway, today was the cutoff race at the Big Machine Vodka 400 at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, aka the Brickyard 400.
Big Machine Vodka?
Yeah.
Okay,
Alex Bowman, Kyle Busch, Kurt Busch, Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin, Kevin Harvick, Eric Jones, Brad Keselowski, and Joey Logano locked their way into round one with wins. And after Darlington last weekend, yes, NASCAR playoffs, it's their championship system. It's
lofts?
But after the Southern 500 last week, which was a 4-hour race, mind you, Kyle Larson, Ryan Blaney, William Byron, and Eric Almirola locked themselves in on points, where 2 spots remained and 4 drivers were on the bubble. Those drivers were Clint Boyer, Daniel Suarez, Ryan Newman, where Suarez and Newman were tied going into the race. And Jimmy Johnson was 18 points below the cutoff before the race. Keep in mind that was all written before the race, and the race has now since happened, and unfortunately, Jimmy Johnson had a great car, just had bad luck on a restart, got loose, and he got into a wreck. He's been in the playoffs ever since, the chase for the cup ever started. So
fuck off.
He broke that streak was broken, but he's still looking, he's still got his head up high. So that's good. And at that point, Clint Boyer pretty much had the 15th seed locked in. It was a fight for 16th seed, and Ryan Newman came out on top with a higher finishing position and better stage finishes. So the final 2 drivers are Clint Boyer and Ryan Newman, respectively. We move on to Vegas next week with a race during the show. It's literally like the main coverage starts at 4 o'clock in the afternoon Pacific time. So if I seem a little distant next week, it's because I'm keeping tabs on the race. But I'll still be doing this stuff. Without
further ado,
I'm almost done. And
All right.
what's probably going to happen is that I'll talk about who won that race and who's on the bubble on the show on the 22nd, because the next race after Vegas is on a Saturday night. So I'll talk about it then. I'll talk about it, the Sunday of. Now, we get started with the Nintendo Direct that happened on Thursday? It was the 4th. It was the 4th of September. And
It was Wednesday.
I was half there. So I'm not going to be copying and pasting stuff that's in this block, because a lot of it has already either been released or we'll be talking about it later.
Yeah.
So the first thing
you made a joke earlier. I really wanted to hear it again, but we're already talking about what's going to be talked about, basically.
Yes, we're already talking about what's going to be talked about. And when we talk about those things again, that's when we post the shit.
Yeah.
But
that's when we actually talk about it. You get it, got it, good.
Yeah, all right. So the Nintendo Direct started off with Overwatch coming to the Switch on October 15th, whereas I thought that was going to be confirmed Tracer's going to be the next Smash character, but I was so proven wrong, thankfully.
So now we have... So basically now we have the Trinity... I was going to say now we have the Trinity of games on the Switch. We have Rocket League, we have Fortnite, and now Overwatch.
Rocket League!
No.
Rocket League is so much fun. Fuck you.
Let me speak. I have a lot to go through, and please, for the love of fuck, don't interrupt me.
Okay. Go ahead.
Strap yourselves in, boys.
Yes, go ahead.
All right, so after Overwatch was revealed and had a release date, Luigi's Mansion 3 had more kind of floor layouts revealed as like a pyramid floor, a dance floor, and a pirate ship floor. There is 2 to 8 player multiplayer confirmed. I believe it's local only. I'm not sure if it's going to be online. But that has a confirmed release date of October 31st, Halloween. Of course. So we will talk about that later. There is a new free-to-start Kirby title called Super Kirby Clash. It is, it's a co-op beat-em-up style game with multiple styles of play, with, single-player play, local play as in, you're not having multiple systems, local wireless and online play. That was released just after the Direct on the 4th, so there's that. If you are a fan of the Mana series, I believe this is the 3rd title in the series. Trials of Mana is being remastered on the Switch with class switching, like as you level up, and a lighter dark side choice, which I think is more of like a morality. It's kind of like in Mass Effect where you go Paragon or Renegade. That can change your appearance, available on April 24th, 2020. Here's the next game I'm excited for. Return to the Obra Dinn. And I don't have an image for this, but if you look up Return to the Obra Dinn, I'll type it in chat, actually. Yeah, my almost typewriter keyboard. It's not a typewriter at all. But if you look that up, and you just look at gameplay footage on YouTube, it has got one of the most unique art styles I've ever seen. It's awesome. You must find the ship, the Obra Dinn, and uncover its mystery of its disappearance and what happened on board, with a fall 2019 announced release date. So it's going to be quarter 3, quarter 4. Little Town Hero is Game Freak's latest title that isn't Pokemon Sword and Shield, and is a standalone turn-based combat RPG with unique combat systems, and it looks like this is where all of the good textures, good models, and good animations went, instead of Pokemon Sword and Shield.
They spent it all on the legendaries.
And they didn't
They
even give us...
literally made Fenris Wolf.
And they didn't even give us a freaking national dex, but that's another rant for another episode.
No, that's Pokemon Sword and Shield. That is when we are going to talk about that in 2 months, but let me continue.
Yeah.
Oh, you can read the chat on screen? Well, somebody was going to point this out eventually. The way that we had the chat before, it used a CSS layout that would just link up to the YouTube chat. But that broke before this. So I was like, Restream has a chat function, so we'll get that set up. And it's a lot nicer, to be honest. And, you guys know the Undertale developer Toby Fox? Yeah, he's composing the music for Little Town Hero.
Yeah, gotta get that resume.
Pre-purchase is now available, and it releases on October 16th of this year, which we will be talking about it later. And we move on to Smash Ultimate.
Banjo and Kazooie!
Who had that set up?
I did have that set up.
That's Michael Jones' character in Minecraft, by the way.
I was about to say, Sub, did you make your way in here? But Sub's probably not even watching. He's probably just fighting some bees and, trying to get the international football back. But Banjo and Kazooie has finally been released for Smash Ultimate.
Yay!
And with version 5.0, fan favorite game mode returns with Home Run Contest.
Yes!
I'm not
Good
sure.
Lord.
I believe it's level only, which kind of sucks because I think online Home Run Contest would be fun, but whatever. And
you get to post your record online, or at least on.
I miss that satisfaction of Home Run Contest where you absolutely demolish it, the frame stops, and then.
I do have to ask, has Banjo and Kazooie been a good character for you since playing with it? Oh, really? You like it?
Yeah, he's better than Hero, who's bullshit incarnate, but nah,
you don't even own Hero yet.
I do own Hero, okay?
All right, go ahead.
I do own it yet.
And character number 4 for DLC is Terry from Fatal Fury, which is an SNK franchise. So there was a leak earlier that, it was going to be an SNK character, and that was true.
You mean Fatal Furry?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And you guys are just interrupting me, and I requested no interruptions.
All right, go ahead.
And there are at least, there's the first 5 characters that were in the Ultimate Fighter Pass, and then there's at least 5 more characters after DLC number 5 in development. And there was... Speaking of Undertale, there's a certain character that got added as a Mii costume. I'm pretty sure you guys, he's a skeleton. He is a skeleton, and he's got a blue eye that's made of fire, and he likes to dunk on people. It is Sans from Undertale.
You really like Sans, don't you?
I just like the meme. I just like the memes about it.
I also like the heavy metal remix someone made of that story part of the song.
But I heard you're like a huge fan of Undertale.
I played through it once, and I did a pacifist run, and I'm just like, I don't really need to experience this more because I can see why people really enjoy this game. And then now that I've done an actual run through of pacifist, I kind of don't want to see where the rest of this goes.
I like watching playthroughs more as I like the charm some people like Jacksepticeye I give to it versus me, which just like reads and just sits there. But I played some of both games. I played some of Undertale and Deltarune. And I mean, it's once you put Sans in Smash, the memes floweth forth.
Yeah, and Toby Fox did do a remix of Megalovania specifically for Smash Ultimate, and funny story, like even Sakurai, because there was like a Smash Direct or like a Smash gameplay for Banjo right after the Nintendo Direct, and he's like, yeah, Toby Fox went to my house. He's pretty good at Smash. But moving on.
That's like everyone's dream come true to go to Sakurai-san's house. Anyway, continue.
Anyway, moving on to Link's Awakening, the remake of the Game Boy game. It'll have Mario and Kirby cameos as seen in the trailer, which it'll just be brought up in a week because it's coming out on September 20th. And then the Chamber Dungeon is the custom dungeon mode where you can share your dungeons online and everything.
Dungeon, that's a different game.
Well, Enter the Gungeon, that's one thing. And then there's also new amiibos that will be released accordingly. And the game will release on September 20th. Now we move on to Dragon Quest XI's Definitive Edition. That's a mouthful. Will allow you to travel from HD to 16-bit graphics and will be available on September 27th. We will talk about that in 2 weeks. There's a free demo now available for that. And a Wii U gem, Tokyo Mirage Sessions with Fire Emblem Encore, which is, the expansion, quote-unquote. It's an interesting crossover title available for pre-purchase, and it'll be available January 2020.
That's when my birthday will be.
Surprise, happy early birthday. Anyway, Deadly Premonition 2 is a sequel to Deadly Premonition. It's a mystery thriller about finding a serial killer on a winding path throughout New Orleans and other places.
I hear doggo.
And it looks awesome. I don't think it's my dog unless his jingle jingles. I don't think he's not up on the stairs. He's not up.
You probably tell when he's approaching. You're like, God fucking damn it.
Yes, but that'll be available in 2020. And Deadly Premonition Origins, which is the first day, it's already out on the eShop. Divinity Original Sin 2, released also same day as the Direct. It is the definitive edition and is coming. It's on the Switch, 4-player online play, and cloud saves cross-platform with the Steam edition. That right there is pretty fucking awesome.
Holy shit.
That's like huge, legendary. Like I can't believe you can actually do that.
Yeah. And
cross-platform.
Yes, but does it have cross-platform saves with all your DLC you purchased and everything like that? I don't think so.
I mean, DLCs are just individual things. I don't know.
Right.
I guess not, but it also doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's just each
Bethesda is re-releasing Doom 64 for the first time because it's only been on the Nintendo 64 on the Switch on November 22nd, which I forget when Doom Eternal is supposed to come out, but I feel like it's somewhat of a tie-in title. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yes.
And next up, we have Rogue Company is a new
November 22nd, it says.
Yeah, that's the Doom 64 release date.
No, it says pre-order Doom Eternal Raise Hell 11/22/2019.
Oh, so I guess it is a tie-in.
Oh wow,
I'm so hyped for Doom Eternal, dude. Besides the game itself, the soundtrack, I'm definitely gonna buy that shit because Mick Gordon is a fucking hero. Oh my god!
All right,
you magnificent Australian bastard, you.
Can I continue?
Yes.
Rogue Company is a new IP, which is a third-person shooter with plenty of modes, maps, weapons, and events. It's not Fortnite, for fuck's sake. Please get that out of your brain. It's not Fortnite. It might look like it a little bit, but it actually looks fun. It looks like you can actually play it without, dying in a second because somebody's like, oh, I'm going to cross-kill from across the map with, like, this awesome $50,000 sniper that I paid for with the microtransactions. It's set for a 2020 release. Pokemon Sword and Shield got an update where there's 4 new features. Character customization with tons more options, including makeup and eye color changes. Pokemon Camp is essentially the Pokemon Me feature from Gen 6, where you can play with and pet your Pokemon, and you can visit other people's camps. Up to 4 people can be in a camp at one time. And there is now a curry minigame, which is similar to the Poffin or Pokeblock systems from earlier titles. And apparently there's over 100 types.
Yeah, when you put the shit in a blender.
Pokemon. Yeah. There were 2 new Pokemon revealed, such as Poltergeist, which is a ghost in a teapot.
Didn't they already have a Geist Pokemon? They probably did. But
well, Geist being Poltergeist.
When you got a Bong Pokemon, I guess it doesn't fucking matter.
And then there's also Cremorant, which is a water flying type, and while using the moves, I believe it's Dive, Waterfall, and Surf, it'll have a fish in its mouth after using it, and because of its ability Gulp Missile, it will fire its catch at the rival Pokemon, causing damage at the end of the turn. And we will be talking about it later, but it releases on November 15th. And a big thing that was announced, you know how last year we got Nintendo Entertainment System Online with Nintendo Switch Online?
Yeah.
Have a good one, Metalworking Furry. Stay safe. Have a good one. But,
thanks for joining us, friend. And welcome, Taryn, my friend.
But a day after the Nintendo Direct dropped Super Nintendo Entertainment System Online. It's got 20 games. Actually, my Switch is right here. I'll rattle off the games for you. I knew this thing was going to come in handy. But I'm just making sure I have my restore point saved in Super Mario World. But from top down, from alphabetical order, Brawl Brothers, Breath of Fire, Demon's Crest, the original F-Zero game, Joe and Mac 2, Lost in the Tropics, Kirby's Dream Course, Kirby's Dream Land 3, Pilot Wings, the original Star Fox, Stunt Race FX, Earth Defense Force, or probably like Super Earth Defense Force. There's no super on it, just says Earth Defense Force. I don't know why it showed up like that. Super Ghouls and Ghosts, Super Mario Kart, Super Mario World, Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island, Super Metroid. This is Super Puyo Puyo 2, Super Soccer, Super Tennis, and The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. And there will be a couple of games added to the system every month.
Yay! I did hear that there was like an update, like saying that updates on both the NES and the SNES will not be frequent as usual.
That, now they're pushing out updates for two separate platforms. I understand that, they want to prioritize one over the other. So,
they just said it won't be as predictable as last time, basically.
That's fine. And there are also new wireless controllers specifically built for SNES Online. It is a wireless Super Nintendo controller, and it's only available for Nintendo Switch Online members. But of course, they'll make their way to eBay and Amazon for $30.
And then they'll take those controllers on eBay and then they'll scalp them like the bitches they are. Anyway,
and
you know how it works.
Yes. Tetris 99 got a new game mode for those it's called Invictus mode, which is, for those who have won at least one match. I don't play Tetris 99. I tried, and I'm seen
it. I still don't understand how it works, but people, you say, "Oh, you're fucked," and then they die. That's it.
I'm too poopy.
I actually play Tetris. I actually play Tetris 99, and it's a lot of fun. You just have to build up your base, leave one open for an open.
But I don't entirely understand the mechanic with how you can fuck people over, but when you do, it rattles up because people start paying attention to you, and then you're dead.
Oh, it got
just watch.
It got a physical released on the 6th of September as well. Anyway, I'm moving on. We will talk about Tetris 99 at another time. Mario and Sonic Olympic Games 2020 is set in Tokyo with lots of new and returning events, and there are retro styles with 8 and 16-bit graphics, as well as a story mode, new minigames, and new characters available November 5th. Daemon X Machina, there was a demo announced that is currently available right now, and something pretty cool, you carry over your save data to the full game. And you're wondering, when is that game coming out? Well, we'll get to that soon. And there is currently local multiplayer in the demo, and it'll be included in the full release. But online multiplayer will only be in the full game. We move on to Star Wars. I believe this is a re-release of Star Wars Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast.
Yeah, it is. It is a re-release. I actually played the game on Nintendo GameCube. It was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. That's coming out September 24th. Witcher 3 Wild Hunt and all its DLC is coming out on October 15th. The Assassin's Creed Rebel Collection, which is Black Flag and Rogue, with all their single-player expansions, they're coming out. I forget when the release date was supposed to be, but I'll update that accordingly. I'll probably bring it up next week. Dauntless, I also missed the release date for, but it's an MMO action game with constant content updates and eventual total crossplay with all the systems they're planning to release it on. So that's good. So the following games have release dates that were confirmed during the Direct, with Grid Autosport, which I believe will have all its DLC. It's only going to come out single player only at launch, but there will be a free multiplayer update that has already been confirmed by Codemasters and Grid. Just Dance 2020, which is also being released on the Wii, is coming out on November 5th.
Why does God hate us all?
You know what? You know your console has been on life support if the only titles that are coming out are Just Dance.
Just Dance.
Shut up.
It'll be okay.
Shut up.
Okay,
Farming Simulator 2020 is coming out on December 3rd. Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch is coming out on the 20th of September,
We'll talk about
that later, as well as Grid Autosport. NBA 2K20 somehow released for the Switch. By the way, don't buy that. That's a totally different rant, and I really, really don't want to do that rant again.
Okay.
That's already come out. That came out on the 6th. Call of Cthulhu, or Cthulhu, however you want to pronounce it, it's out on October 8th. The Outer Worlds, just, it's coming soon. Devil May Cry 2, I almost said 5 for whatever reason, coming out on the 19th, which we will talk about next week. Vampire, coming out on October 29th. Animal Crossing New Horizons has new updates, including the Deserted Island Getaway Package. You get a cell phone in-game with lots of features, and you'll have some Minecraft elements to craft items to get new materials and better islands. It's basically, it's Animal Crossing's version of Minecraft is what Animal Crossing New Horizons
is. Animal Crossing in Minecraft.
And I have nothing wrong with that because it's Animal Crossing. There's always just going to be something for you to do. And you can just pick it up and play whenever you want, like Minecraft. But as soon as I saw it, it's like, oh, hey, get materials, craft items, get more shit, craft newer items. And I'm just like, this is Minecraft. And I'm not saying that is a bad thing. Weather and time will change on the island as well as seasons because there is like an actual time cycle, which is nice. There's a bit much to talk about here, but I thought it was going to come out soon. No, it's March 20th, 2020. But knowing Nintendo, they'll probably release an update in like 3 months saying, hey, here's all the shit we're adding.
Nintendo knows how to play the long con.
They do.
And 8 players online can play in one session, which is really cool. And the one last thing that'll make Scarfy happy, as well as Chugga Conroy, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition has been announced, set to release sometime in 2020. It is a total HD remake of the original Xenoblade Chronicles
that released in 2010, which is kind of amazing. Also, yes. Yeah, sadly it didn't sell enough copies, but what can you do? Hey, so I have a trivia question for Naka. Do you know the developers of Xenoblade Chronicles?
No, it's Platinum Games, isn't it?
No, it's Monolith Soft, and right now my Monolith isn't soft.
Jesus Christ.
Anyway, yeah. Anyway, just
also,
I really love.
You should. This is a perfect time to remind you to subscribe.
Also, Shutter, you say you're depressed. What's up, man? You know, don't be depressed. Like, I understand you're feeling depressed because like something set you off, but just like hey, try to put that aside. You're here to just fuck around with people. Really.
That's why I think that's what spoke to me about. If I may interject for a second about I Don't Want to Be Me, because I hadn't heard the song before. It's really just kind of like, it's absolutely, it comes in on one of those days you don't feel like you just don't want to do anything. You don't want to have to deal with shit. But it's just, could it, please don't dress in black when you're at his wake. Don't go there to mourn, but to celebrate. And as Korn said, it's like sometimes you flirt with suicide, and that's okay.
Anyway.
I don't know, because you gotta address the dark shit. Otherwise, it'll consume you. This is not an apocalyptic thing to talk about, but
we're getting off topic. We're
getting off topic. Stuff. If you really want to be depressed, just know that the Mariners lost 21-1 today. 21-1. It's not as bad as 30-3 with the Baltimore Orioles, but it was the same team.
Nelson. Okay, I was gonna say. Well, now I'm definitely gonna say it because you went there. I say you took Nelson Krüz and you still fucked up.
Naka, can we talk about
moving on to something that just dropped in the middle of buttfuck nowhere after the direct?
Yeah, I showed this to you.
Is it like a Wii Sports or a Wii Fit style game for the Switch? I don't know. I guess we'll find out on the 12th.
Yes, we will, because this is definitely an interesting take. With that being said, Naka, let's move on.
We are moving on to Daemon X Machina. Yeah, surprise! Yeah, I told you that we were going to talk about this game. If you've played the demo currently available, like I said, you can carry over your save data for the full release. Consider Daemon X Machina as a spiritual successor to the Armored Core series, as Kenichiro Tsukuda, I must fuck that up, sorry about that, produced that series as well as this game. The color palette is very vibrant and bright, and the music has a lot of rock and metal elements. And here's the plot summary. After a moon collided with the planet, because it's just unknown, it radiated a special energy that turned artificial intelligence against humanity. The Outers, a group of mech pilots, gain special abilities after being affected by the mysterious energy, and they act as humanity's protection and guardians as the war with the arms of immortals, AIs, rages on. You control a custom character who commands an arsenal mech and engages in battle with other enemies. Oh, welcome back, Kyle. Yeah, shit's been fucked pretty much all across North America with storms and shit, so I don't blame you.
Yeah.
And,
last night, nothing fucking touches you.
Well, seeing as how there was a pretty big thunderstorm last night in Seattle, that was fun to watch. I was in a pub last night, but I'm getting off topic. Your abilities and appearance can be customized in the hangar, which is the game's main hub, where you can browse through different missions and all that kind of crap. After dealing enough damage to other mechs, you can scavenge its parts and weapons and use them against the downed enemy. Local and online 4-player cooperative multiplayer is present in the game, and I believe there's going to be competitive as well. Speaking of competitive, if you want to get that edge over the competition, you want to pick up the chunky Daemon X Machina controller by Hori for the Switch, which is like $50, I think. The game looks epic, and it releases for the Switch on the 13th of September.
So one of my YouTube gurus that I'd like to watch, some call me Johnny, he said that for whatever reason this game might end up being like, what's the term that you use when a game has been advertised poorly and not, not really able to sell well, I guess.
Poorly marketed, underrated gem.
Well, I wouldn't really call it underrated. I just would say,
if you're saying that afterwards the game was actually good, or...
Well, it's more so like other games are going to be overshadowing this game, I should say.
What, kind of like Earthbound for a while?
76.
I wouldn't say, well, it depends on how good it is, but, kind
of like Earthbound for a while?
I don't know if it's going to be as good as Earthbound, but,
But, it's like, it's not well marketed, like, it didn't sell very well, but it's going to be praised as, like, a very good game. Because it looks great. It looks great. I'm all for mech fighting. But, anyway, I believe that's it for Daemon X Machina. Now we move on to something that fucking sucks. Borderlands 3 itself doesn't suck. Don't get me wrong. You may believe this game is actually coming out on PC on the 13th. No, that's where you're wrong. It's entering a 6-month beta period on the PC. Because it only gets a proper release 6 months after its Epic Games exclusivity happens. Because Take-Two... I'm not looking at you, 2K. I'm not looking at you, Gearbox. I'm looking at you specifically, Take-Two Publishing, because you guys are fucking assholes. You guys are literally ruining. God damn. Have you taken a look at NBA 2K20, which is literally a fucking casino marketed to children?
And you have to pay with
basketball minigame attached to it. You might think the mainstay is the basketball aspect, but really all you advertised for the My Team trailers was the fact that you could spend real money and pay for, virtual currency to spend, to gamble, to try to win players for your My Team. But I'm getting ahead of myself, and that's a completely different game. Borderlands 3 is going to be in a beta period for 6 months. Because Epic exclusivity is a bitch.
Yes, I agree to that.
Fuck you, Epic Games, and your bullshit launcher that doesn't
That's
even
not
have a
very-
fucking
that's not
shopping cart.
That's not very epic.
How bad does your online store have to be where you don't have a shopping cart, so you have to buy games one at a time, where some people's accounts actually got banned because they bought so many games in such a short amount of time because Epic Games thought that their accounts were hacked. That's what happens when you have bullshit failsafes that don't work because you don't have a goddamn shopping cart.
I
Is
think
that the same thing that advertised that they have 8 games or whatever?
Naka, do you think you can agree with 3 frozen noodles?
Yeah, Epic
cash
Games
grabs are
2K,
plenty.
it's cash grabbing. It's all it
Oh.
is.
Yes, and it's really lame.
Cash grab, not limited to EA.
So I assume you
Not-
hate the whole pay-to-win thing.
Absolutely, it's fucking dog shit. I still need to continue on with this bullshit rant. Because
continue.
you ever heard of a game called Half-Life 2? You ever heard of a games launcher called Steam? Yeah, when that launched in 2004, that had a little feature called preloading where you could download the game in advance and you'd be able to play it when it was officially released. You know what the Epic Game Store didn't have? Where fans of Borderlands had to basically protest and boycott Epic Games before they decided, oh, we should add preloading to our store. How bad does your store have to be where your fans have to fucking protest your company because you don't have preloading, something that has been industry standard for 15 years?
I need to get Naka an ice pack. Will you guys excuse
Before
me?
I have a goddamn aneurysm, Borderlands 3.
I think we're way past that point.
Yeah.
Before I have a fucking aneurysm.
This is what game developer and studio decisions are.
Krüz,
just
Krüz, you're not helping. Let Naka finish.
They do things that make us want to unalive.
Don't get me started on FIFA 20, okay? Don't get me started on FIFA 20, where they're adding a new game mode that is going to launch without microtransactions, and it's been stated where it's, FIFA Volta, like FIFA 20 Volta, it's not going to have microtransactions at launch. And now the guy who basically runs FIFA, my team, like the FIFA Ultimate Team, the guy who's been basically, whose game development and practices have caused children to spend thousands of dollars of their parents' money or their own money trying to get a player for their Ultimate Team that they're probably never going to get. He is now the head of EA Europe, which means we're all fucked. But before I even get into a better, and I'm sorry for peaking the audio. I realized I was peaking throughout that, but this shit boils my goddamn blood. Okay?
Yeah.
There's enough bullshit.
A lot worse than Frozen 2. I'm just kidding.
You know what? I can fucking, forget about those goddamn movies. They're just doing that.
All right.
But, and I apologize for basically just shattering your goddamn eardrums. I probably should have put an audio warning on the screen, or I probably should have said that beforehand. But shit really fucking boils my blood. Anyway, moving on to Borderlands 3. It is the 4th game in the looter shooter franchise Borderlands set as a sequel to Borderlands 2. Sometime after Handsome Jack's death and Hyperion's destruction, new antagonists Troy and Tyrene Calypso learn of vaults beyond Pandora. It's just a game, why you have to be mad? Yeah, but it's being marketed towards children.
Why you have to be mad?
And I understand there's actual problems to be upset about, but there's only so much I can do for those problems, but it's just... But... So,
anyway.
Troy and Tyrene Calypso form a cult called Children of the Vault to gain possession of the vaults beyond Pandora. Lilith recruits the player's new Vault Hunter character to stop the Calypso twins. Many characters from previous games are set to return, including some from the spin-off game, Tales from the Borderlands. There are a couple characters that were recast because the voice actors, they had falling out with Gearbox, and I don't want to get into that. tons of guns. Like, there's something over 1 billion guns, I think, in this game. Brand new characters, new planets to explore. All in all, a great game coming out in 6 months on PC and launching on PS4 and Xbox One on September 13th. If you want to pick up Borderlands 3 and you have a console lying around, pick it up on there. And when it comes out on Steam, pick it up there. Don't support Epic Games.
No, please don't.
Don't support them. It's
It
right.
sucks. It's bad for you.
It's all bullshit, folks. It's all bullshit and it's bad for you. But we're moving on to something that isn't bullshit. I actually saw an advertisement for this last night.
I saw this today at the pub.
Yeah, it was at the pub. I saw an advertisement for this game at the pub last night.
Oh, really? Wow.
I was at a pub and I saw this.
Well, it was during a college football game.
You probably saw it.
It was during a college football game. Gears 5.
The Gators won this weekend. Fuck yeah.
This is the 5th title in the long-running Gears of War franchise, finally coming to Xbox One and Windows 10 PCs on September 10th. However, if you've got Ultimate Game Pass, or you bought the Ultimate Edition for either PC or Xbox One, it was released at 9 p.m. Pacific on the 5th of September, which is midnight Eastern and pretty much September 6th for most of the world.
However, if you're cheap like us...
No,
continue.
I have Ultimate Game Pass because Xbox and Microsoft, they are my primary console, so I pay the $15 a month for Ultimate Game Pass. Oh,
Okay.
hey, Seawolf, I was going to message you on Xbox earlier, but you were offline. Speaking of Xbox, if you've got Ultimate Game Pass or the Ultimate Edition, you get the Halo Reach DLC where you can customize your armor to be either Cat or Emil from Halo Reach. I believe it's in multiplayer only, but I could be in single player. I'm not so sure about that. As a sequel to Gears 4, the game focuses on Kate Diaz, an outsider of Locust descent, where you must uncover the origins of the Locust and Kate's family. JD and Marcus Fenix, as well as Delmont Walker, also returned from previous games. Kat, JD, Del, and Marcus travel to the ruins of Azura, whatever, in order to launch a prototype Hammer of Dawn satellite in an effort to restore the Hammer of Dawn network. Oh, fuck.
Azide.
There is shitloads of lore and plot here that I don't understand because I personally don't play Gears of War. Oh, well, I'm stupid, and I forgot to do that, but...
I mean, like, if you weren't playing Gears of War, chances are you were playing Halo, which is fine. And,
Halo's my go-to Microsoft shooter franchise.
But my brothers really like this game. I don't really know much of it.
I know a lot of people do, and I don't know much background, but this trailer makes me want to start to get into it, especially because this is on Xbox.
Maybe Seawolf will get this game.
Oh yeah, I'm pointing at my screen, which you can't see because there's no camera on me. There's also the Terminator Dark Fate bonus character pack for online multiplayer. That was confirmed at E3. But anyways, if you want the epic story from the rest of the franchise, you won't be disappointed. And if you want some third-person gory shooter multiplayer, you also won't be disappointed. Overall, a solid title for a ton of people coming out or it's already released depending on your purchase on September 10th for Windows 10 PCs and Xbox One. The reason why I say specifically Windows 10 PCs is because Windows 10 is the only operating system that supports DirectX 12 graphics. So,
which is really high in demand.
I assume that's good.
That is the new iteration of DirectX.
That's like the ray tracing thing they've added to Minecraft. Well, not added to Minecraft, but the mod for Minecraft. Yeah. Which is sort of supposed to become a thing.
The Super
beautiful.
Ultra graphics update canceled. Oh, NVIDIA, go ahead and do it, but it's only on NVIDIA cards. Okay.
NVIDIA.
But That was a little late. I'll just have that up there for now. But that's all for video games this week. And Scarfy,
Here we go.
I'm only posting the coming attractions and what's coming out ahead. Go ahead, do your recap while I play the Nintendo Switch.
Oh, hey, come on now. You weren't playing the Nintendo Switch when Krüz was talking. Come on now.
Go on. I'm not actually playing the Switch.
Oh, well. Anyway, it's been a movie-tastic summer/spring that I had. I saw a ton of films over the spring and summer. Like Naka said, he is not going to be posting this, but I am going to be talking about them briefly. And I saw some films in theaters which were watched over the spring/summer, from least to most recommended. So without further ado, let's begin.
The ones you roast.
Whatever.
Let's continue. Some of the ones he didn't label as seen, but that's fine.
The Lion King and Aladdin, as if I even need to go into much detail. These are some of the worst films you will ever see this year. I am not kidding. And it even bothered me so much so that the Lion King live action remake has made more money than any live action remake possible. Because of this, I have literally made a rule to myself that I will not go see any live action remake to prove that we are better as a species. Not even the new ones coming out this year.
The Lion King? That's the one that did it?
Yep, that was the one that did it. Sorry. But anyway. I also saw...
boy.
I saw Tolkien, which was a film biography, docudrama of J.R.R. Tolkien's life. He's the author of Lord of the Rings. I wish I liked it more than I should have.
Namesake of Amon Amarth, one of my favorite bands.
It was just kind of meh, but, And then I saw Yesterday and Blinded by the Light, which Yesterday and Blinded by the Light were kind of their own The Beatles or Bruce Springsteen, type films.
That's a douche in the middle of the night.
Followed by Captain Marvel, which I thought was okay. Captain Marvel was just an okay film to me. I haven't,
Same to me. I saw it in Budapest. It was okay. It was all right, but it was like
okay. It wasn't anything like
Samuel L. Jackson in that movie
that I saw.
Samuel L. Jackson in that movie, probably one of his best in the Marvel things. Honestly.
But yeah. So this is an interesting one. Godzilla King of the Monsters. I actually saw this in Washington, D.C. with my friend Dante. You may know him on Twitter as Dante. Let's just say we're really, really good friends. I love him to death, and he was able to, we were able to work something out so I can visit Virginia at his house. So it was a lot of fun.
Hey, did you guys do this?
Yeah, well, he didn't visit me, as for sure, because I was also at work, but also.
I am not going to answer that question because I do not have any recollection of the event in question. So there you go.
So it's not a no.
That's what I was gonna say.
If you want to know, ask him. Anyway, if you want to know, ask him. Anyway, the next movie that I'm gonna talk about is Pokemon Detective Pikachu, which I'm pretty sure. Oh, Mother Tucker.
Yeah, which there's nobody here. There's nobody here. It's just me.
Yep, fuck. Oh well, guess we're gonna have to deal with it. Nope, anyway,
he's all right.
Pokemon Detective Pikachu. We all saw this movie. Can I just say this right now? This was kind of our comfort food that we got to have, our junk food, if you will. That just kind of gave us our, sensual. What can I say? Our gratification for love of Pokemon, shall we say, which was a lot of fun. And I just want to ask you, and I just want to tell you guys something. In my paws, I am holding 17 packs of Pokemon Detective Pikachu cards that have not been opened. These are pristine trading cards that I have not opened at all because I want to see how well in value they're going to increase, but considering that I can only sell them on eBay, they're not going to increase in value all that much, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Wow, you're one of those scalpers we were talking about earlier.
Well, I mean, there's a difference between scalping for being a freaking bitch and then scalping for, oh yeah, well, of course they'd be this much because, this was only a one-time event as opposed to events that, still happen. But, other than that, I really enjoyed it. And then I saw the movie Shazam, which was also a well-done film. I really enjoyed it. One of DC's best. I kind of hope that this film maybe takes off a little bit, maybe becomes more than what it needs to with its sequel, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. The next horror film that I saw was Us with Lupita Nyong'o and Winston Duke. I really enjoyed this movie. It was directed by Jordan Peele, who also directed the film Get Out. I personally really liked it. I think my favorite part in the movie, which I sadly can't spoil, is when the music is instigated, but I can't really say much about it. You have to go see it yourself. And then I did not see this movie, but Krüz ended up seeing Midsummer, which was a film directed by Ari Aster, the director of Hereditary, which we did both see, just in different occasions. Krüz, what do you have to say regarding Midsummer? Because I know you're a fan of Hereditary, and I wanted to know how you felt about this one.
This one, I left only slightly disappointed. So, maybe this was on me, but if you're expecting anything like Hereditary, you're not going to get it. I personally think the most damning thing to say about this movie is it, quote unquote, blew its load a little too early. But I will say the imagery used throughout the movie was excellent, and it's kind of like going through Far Cry 5 in the sort of drug-induced kind of mania that it's through the game. But yeah, the imagery and cinematography is definitely the strong suit. Storytelling is a bit it was, for me, it was okay.
Okay.
I wanted to like it more, but if you haven't seen it, I won't tell you, but there's a part of it that I was like, hell yeah, they better have included that because of where it's set. If you know anything about Norse culture, you know what that means.
But anyway, moving on, I also saw the independent film called Booksmart. If you ever get the chance to see it, it was a fantastic film. I really do enjoy it. Followed by Rocket Man. It was a biopic about the legendary Elton John. And I'm just going to say this right now, and I hope, none of you are going to hurt me for this. I think this is everything Bohemian Rhapsody should have been, and I encourage you to go see it, even if you're not a fan of Elton John.
I miss my wife.
Just gonna say that right now. The bitch is back, everyone. The bitch is back. Let's continue.
Bitch.
I also saw Toy Story 4. It was an interesting film. A lot of people thought it was like the best way to, well, I'm not for spoilers or anything, but I'm sure a lot of you probably know. It was the best way to end the Toy Story quote-unquote saga, but we'll see how long it really ends. But all we have to do is we'll see what happens. Then the next movie that I saw was Good Boys, and guys, I literally had a lot of fun watching this movie. It was a film that was produced by, what was his name?
Seth Rogen.
Yes, Seth Rogen. Thank you. I don't know why I was drawing a blank there. Seth Rogen. It's one of the films that is actually tolerable, and the comedy with the children is actually really great. And they actually have chemistry and character together, and it's a really good film, and I highly encourage you to see it. All right, now let's get to the good stuff, because honestly, there's a lot to talk about. Spider-Man Far From Home. We have a lot to talk about with this one. I really, really enjoyed this film. And
yes, I also visited some of the locations that you see in the movie. For example, Charles Bridge in Prague. I went there. Yeah, I walked the bridge. It was a lot of fun. That's also where the 30 Years' War ended. Fun fact.
Mm-hmm.
Sabaton has a song about that. 1948.
But of course there was some news saying that I'm pretty sure we can just say it right now. There was some news regarding Spider-Man kind of like being severed from the MCU, but Sony just kind of said it's just not. It's just severed for now. We don't know if they'll return. We just kind of have to wait and see what happens with Spider-Man.
No, son.
What do you mean, no, son?
Yeah, Sony's probably
I
just
have
going to
no
keep it to
son.
themselves, like Toyota's keeping all their cars to only Japanese game developers. But that's another story for another day.
Son. This isn't
Yes.
my house.
Anyway, let's move on to It Chapter 2. I saw this movie about 3 days ago. I was very impressed by it. Most people might find the first film more impressive than the second one because let's just say this right now. Children are more interesting to watch than adults on screen. It's truth. You can't really, you can't run from that truth.
Can we say some spoilers?
Uh,
Not many.
Hey, no, I still haven't seen it.
Yeah, Naka really
Okay.
wants to go see this one.
Okay. Well, I think I enjoyed it. I'll say that because my roommate and I went to go see it and on Friday, and we both really enjoyed it. I can say no anthrax in it, unfortunately. No rock war antisocial thing, but
Does Pennywise give his all to you?
yeah, I think a lot of the visuals were really well done. There isn't any metal, but there is. I did hear in the song in the movie "Word Up," which was a song that Korn covered.
Okay.
Word up, it's the code word. Yeah, that song. That plays at some point in the movie. I really spoiled
Yeah.
it, but you'll probably enjoy it. If you enjoy the first one, you'll probably be like, if it's not, don't expect it to outdo the first one, but like expect it to be like almost a
Sewell
continuation.
says
Almost
the
a continuation.
Yeah, Sewell says the first It movie was more comedy than horror. I mean, yeah, I can kind of see why, and
I
don't
wouldn't
get me
say
wrong,
comedy horror because that's kind of like a genre in of itself.
but it is funny.
It is more of a story that's not just horror. Horror is a very prominent element, but not the sole basis of the story.
Yeah.
But a lot of the visuals in that, it did get kind of goofy with the whole Pennywise dancing thing, but like, that's kind of, I mean, he's a clown. It's going to get goofy.
Yeah.
Oh, get goofy.
Anyway, let's move on to our final two films that I saw in theaters over the week. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I am a huge fan of Quentin Tarantino. I personally think this is probably one of the best films that I've seen this year, and it's not going to surprise me in the slightest if it's nominated for an Oscar or Best Picture. It's not going to surprise me at all. If you haven't seen this film, I would highly recommend you see it. I literally had to bug Krüz like every week, please go see this film, and he finally did. And
I did.
And you were very impressed by it, weren't you?
I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yeah.
I think the cast was great, especially because
Tarantino, I think more than any other director, makes sure you pay attention to the cast, at least because you know what he does. DiCaprio, of course, is a staple for him. I don't know if he's worked with Brad Pitt that much before, but you made sure that those characters were like had a specific identity, and it was different. You know, if you're expecting, the kind of Django Unchained, guns blazing, you're not going to get that, but it was still, worth seeing for a Tarantino film. A little bit, I guess, maybe to say restrained for a Tarantino film isn't really saying much.
I don't really think it's restrained because, Quentin Tarantino has shot a film that was much more mellow than before, Yeah. And, but other than that, if you have the chance to see it, if you have the chance to see it, I would highly recommend when you see it. And now for the big one that I'm pretty sure most people saw this year, which was just amazing. Yeah. Avengers Endgame. Guys, as if we even need to go into much detail regarding this one, how did you feel seeing this movie?
I mean, I saw it twice, within 2 days.
And were you happy?
Like, the first time through, I was like, oh my god, this movie's so great. And then the second time through, I'm just like, there's things wrong with this movie.
But other than that...
it was still a great movie. Don't get me wrong, but like the more I think about it, the more I'm just like, wait, what the fuck? Wait, what the fuck? Why didn't they do this, or this?
That's when you watch. That's when you watch the fan theory videos and shit.
Yeah. I have.
See, Seawolf hasn't seen it. We're not going to talk about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're not gonna talk about what's going to happen.
We're beyond the point where spoilers, but I won't spoil it for you, Seawolf, because we love you. But I will say I really enjoyed. I enjoyed Endgame, and this is an inconsequential thing, but they do mention Budapest at some point in the movie, and when because I was watching it in Budapest, that got a little murmur from the crowd, and also got a murmur because they mentioned Budapest in Captain Marvel, and the crowd was kind of like, yeah. But I did really enjoy it. I think it for a 3-hour movie, it does what it needs to do, and it does it well.
And it's very emotional, it's very funny, it's very impacting, it's very touching. It's everything you want a Marvel film to be. It was so good, in fact, and so well received that I was so happy that this was the first film to not only break Titanic's record, but to also break Avatar's worldwide and domestic gross, cementing itself as the highest grossing.
But it really didn't. If you adjust it for inflation,
I'm gonna make Avatar 2.
And I'm just gonna say this right now: people are arguing that it took 22 films for this film to literally make more than Avatar.
No, it took 22 films to conquer James Cameron's ego.
Yeah, that's exactly what it did.
Not the movie,
and
it's ego.
Yeah, and then don't get me wrong, I don't really hate Avatar. I just don't think it's everything it's made. Everything it's made up to
I'm gonna
be.
go take him across the street real quick. So bear with me. If there's frame drops, I will address it when I come back. I'll be like 4 minutes tops.
Okay, all right.
I'm sorry, there's nobody else here at the house, but it's me and the dog right now because my parents are out. They're out getting dinner.
Me or the dog.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go.
Have fun.
I'm gonna go ahead and continue.
Don't die.
Who's a good boy, Tucker? Who's a good boy?
Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and continue.
Don't throw a party. If you do, just clean up after yourself and buy liquor.
Anyway.
Now, guys, now!
I'm further away from you.
That's the signal. Now.
Anyway, I'm going to talk about films that were watched in leisure with John Wick Chapters 1 and 2. I actually ended up seeing these films that I needed to see. I have not seen John Wick Chapter 3 yet. Just haven't had time, and I was busy with a lot of things, and the opportunity didn't really present itself. Another film that I saw was It's a Mad, 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 Mad World. I actually bought this film on the Criterion sale. Very impressed by it. I just wanted to watch something that was a little bit more fun and a little bit more, interesting and just, having fun to watch and all these other things and, just trying to get as much as I can done. And then the next film that I watched, which I would only recommend for the super, super film aficionados, is a Russian film called Stalker. It was made by
My
Tarkov's.
roommate is from Russia.
The film was made by a person called Andrei Tarkovsky. He's a Russian director. I would only recommend you see this film if you are that interested in, watching films that, are more artistic than they are impacting. And then the last thing that I wanted to talk about was the last film that I got from Criterion was Do the Right Thing. I own this film on Criterion. It was very interesting. Never seen the Spike Lee film. I heard many, many good things about it. It is relevant today just as much as it was relevant 20 years ago when it was made. 20 plus years ago, I should say. And that's really all I have to say regarding Do the Right Thing. I am going to be saving this last thing to talk about when Naka gets back. So hopefully we'll talk
Luckily,
about
I'm at college. I don't have to walk my dog anymore. But I love my Bean. I love my little boo boo. She's my boo boo.
But anyway, let's just talk about Avengers. I guess I'm just really happy that Avengers, finally beat James Cameron's ego. Because thank God, I was expecting.
Yeah, 'cause my friend and I have been watching the South Park, and one of the episodes was when, it was the one where James like the quote unquote bar has been lowered, and they're like making fun of people on the scooters in Walmart. Then James Cameron tries to raise the bar by like diving deep into the ocean and
The
bringing
Abyss.
the bar
The
up.
Abyss.
Yeah, we were watching something. We watched that episode, and then was it Randy Newman? Is that him? Who was like at the end? He's like, "Oh, deep, 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 deep in the ocean."
Oh yeah, that's Randy Newman's voice.
Yeah, we watched that episode. That was pretty funny. It's like,
You mean like
Rhino, don't scare little boys. Impressing your parents. Don't bring too much toys, Randy.
yeah, it was that. I only know 5 chords. It was that. Yeah, it was that episode. It was pretty funny.
You may not sing like this. Guys, I'm just gonna. Do you guys want me to? Let's just try, just for the heck of it. I'm gonna go ahead and sing the first ensemble of "Take on Me" and try to hit the high note. And I really want Krüz to watch this. So here we go. We're talking away. I don't know what I'm to say. I'll say it anyway. Today's another day to find you. Shine away. I'll be coming for your love, okay? And take on me. Take on me. Take me on.
I have returned.
I'll be gone in a day or
hustlers.
Wow!
What?
Wow! I
Anyway.
can't believe you did that. Anyway,
Yeah, that's called power metal, bitch.
Moving on to hustlers.
Actually, no. We actually waited for you to talk about one of these other before because we wanted to talk to you.
Well, I've
Stranger
got the shit on screen. We're keeping it here.
Stranger Things 3,
Yes,
season 3. Yes. How did you like that season?
that was very good. Found it better than season 2.
Yeah, it's easy to say. Easily better than 2, and I think it was a lot more engaging. And I mean, I can't say this kind of without spoiling, but there's a certain horror movie I'd compare it to that kind of got to, but it does it better than that horror movie does.
Like season 1, I get it. It's the world building one. It's got the initial conflict. Season 2, kind of building off of that. But season 3, how it's set like 6 months to a year later. They've got all this lore established. That's what made it so much better.
And there was 2 things that you were kind of cringing about. You didn't like the special effects on the fireworks.
God, they had the awesome special effects for like the monsters and shit, but they did like a $4 effect for the fireworks. It wasn't even a green screen shot. It didn't even look like. It looked like it was a practical shot, but they CG'd in fireworks. Like, what the fuck? If you're gonna go cheap, might as well make the whole goddamn thing green screen.
And then you didn't. And then
it's just the
I guess
teenage.
it's kind of a spoiler.
It's just the teenage romance aspect of it, because I get it. I'm not talking, who and what, whatever, but it's just there's teenage romance in there, and it's. I wanted to gag myself.
Anyways, let's talk about Hustlers. A story based off an article by a journalist for a magazine. Sure,
Fuck
why not?
Lizzo, fuck Cardi B.
Hey, I like Lizzo.
Yeah, well,
Good thing my sister's not listening, or else she would have some very sharp words for me.
yeah. So,
Hustlers.
yeah, everyone likes a bandwagon. Don't they?
Stop interrupting. Stop interrupting.
Hustlers is an upcoming American comedy drama film written and directed by Lorraine Scafaria. I almost said my own name. Based on New York's Magazine 2015 article, The Hustlers at Scores by Jessica Pressler. The film stars Constance Wu, Jennifer Lopez, Julia Stiles, Keke Palmer, Lily Reinhart, Lizzo, and Cardi B. The story centers around a group of strippers in New York City led by an aging and an ambitious single mother as they lie, steal, and hustle dozens of wealthy men when the sex industry bottoms out during the late 2000s financial crisis. A journalist covering the story for a magazine interviews one of the ringleaders and tries to figure out where it all went wrong. The film is directed by Lorene Scafaria, as I said before, who is also responsible for directing the film Seeking a Friend for the End of the World, which sadly I haven't seen. Granted, I am kind of surprised by this kind of movie, but I am afraid to say I just don't know what to think of it. It doesn't look too awful, but I find myself wishing I could be interested in it because I looked at all the production team and there's really nothing that can draw me to it, as it only might draw to other people from the trailer alone. So all I can say is that I hope this movie will be good, or at least very mildly entertaining. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see, since it does look good.
Every thought.
It looks interesting.
Every thought on Tinder is "Truth Hurts" by Lizzo. It's like, no, fuck your upstarting cunty bullshit.
The film had its world premiere on September 7, 2019 at the Toronto International Film Festival and is scheduled to be released in the United States on September 13th. What do you guys have to say regarding this movie?
To be honest, a story like this, it's interesting to see, and it's just, it's not like...
It's a shame they ruined it with who they decided to put in it.
It could have been worse. It could have been worse.
I honestly don't give a shit about Lizzo. I just hate that, being a fucking upstart, but I actually do just hate Cardi B. Yeah, because she's a Nicki Minaj light, and that's an insult in and of itself.
Minaj.
Yeah, Nicki Minaj light. That's Cardi B. I like it like that. Yeah, well, I don't like you. I would like you if you were dead. I mean,
whoa, harsh words. But if it's anything to deal with the financial crisis, I never really expected. I never really was.
This is kind of out of nowhere.
The only movie I watched surrounding that was I don't know who.
Out of all the things to be affected,
it was called Too Big to Fail.
I mean, out of all the things to be affected, seriously, a stripper ring? That's kind of interesting.
You'd think businessmen who are being affected
they're
by
heroes.
The stock market recession of 2008. You think they just want a little bit more action because, maybe their wives left them or something, or, they're feeling down, especially now that they're down because the market is way down. You think they would want some action, but no, it's apparently not how that works.
Right.
Yeah, they think learn from Matthew McConaughey and be like, you jerk off.
Anyway, I don't really know if I want to see this movie, but it does look interesting to say the least. I like the premise at least. But I guess it's finally time to move on to the next film. It's finally time to close the chapter on one of the most beautiful historical period pieces ever to be brought to television with now its own movie. Downton Abbey is an upcoming British historical period drama film written by Julian Fellowes and directed by Michael Engler. It is a continuation of the television series of the same name created by Fellowes that first aired on ITV in the United Kingdom in 2010 and in the United States on PBS, that is the public broadcasting system, which supported production of the series as part of its Masterpiece Classic anthology, known as Masterpiece Theater at that time. Much of the original cast returns, including Hugh Bonneville, Jim Carter, Michelle Dockery, Elizabeth McGovern, Maggie Smith, and Penelope Wilton. So, before I get into the plot, I don't really have a clue what to expect from this film, considering I've seen very little of the show. In fact, my grandmother knows more about this show than I do, considering she's seen every episode. But at the same time, I can't really bring myself to say I see anything too dangerous in this film either. The plot is as follows. Continuing the story of the Crawley family, wealthy owners of a large estate in the English countryside in the early 20th century, now concludes in the year of 1927, where King George V and Queen Mary visit Downton Abbey, causing a stir among the Crawleys and servants alike. And yeah, that's really about it. It's not that I think this film will be god-awful. It's just that, well, I haven't seen the TV show, so I haven't had a clue what's going on.
Yeah, it's
almost
directly between the interwar period, so there's quite a lot going on.
Well,
but
quite a lot going on in the war period. But you can't really tell what's going on in this show particularly. It's almost like a kid wanting to watch the first Pokemon movie, but haven't really seen most of the show to do so.
Yeah, then they haven't lived and they haven't cried when Ash.
so they don't know what's going on. But gosh darn Hollywood just wants your dollars, so they'll do anything they can to get it. So really, the only people who I think are going to be able to watch this movie and understand it are the people who watch the show. Which, don't get me wrong, I heard really good things about this about the show, and
Same.
This trailer does look beautiful, looks very nice, and plays the Downton Abbey theme all the more beautifully here. But it's one of those instances where I don't know much about it unless I took the time to nearly binge watch all 6 seasons of it. And sadly, that time is both limited and valuable. If you're interested, the film releases both in the US and the UK on September 13th. But again, if you haven't seen the show, likely like my grandma, I would highly recommend seeing it first before watching the movie. It just makes sense.
And here I was thinking you would have berated us for not seeing it.
No, I would not berate. I would not berate you for not have seen the show.
Me that shit. Granted,
I haven't seen the show myself, so I can't.
Neither
really
have I.
that. So, I'm pretty
my piece is if you want to just watch
there's
something Downton Abbey
Kyle?
about it and don't care about the plot, go ahead and watch it because it's Downton Abbey. But if you actually care about the series and have watched it up to this point, go ahead and watch it. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you what to do and not to do. Even though I told you earlier, don't support Epic Games by buying Borderlands 3 on PC on Epic Games, but what? Like I said, if you have interest in Downton Abbey, go ahead and watch it if you want. But, I'm probably not going to go see it because I don't have an interest in Downton Abbey. I don't have an interest for a lot of TV shows, actually.
Yeah. Anyway,
Cody's
let's move
here.
on to our... Yeah, hi, Cody. Go give us your strawberries. Anyway, let's talk about the final film that is coming out on the week ahead. Probably one of the hardest incidents where I had to choose between 2 trailers since they were both good, so I couldn't make up my own damn mind. But man, does this film look extremely promising, and I hope this film gets the recognition that it deserves. The Goldfinch is an upcoming American drama film directed by John Crowley, based on the 2013 novel of the same name by Donna Tartt. It stars Ansel Elgort, Oakes Fegley, Aneurin Bernard, Finn Wolfhard, Sarah Paulson, Luke Wilson, Jeffrey Wright, and Nicole Kidman.
Sorry about that. I just something I needed to respond to real quick. I'm so sorry about that. That was unprofessional of me. I just got the thing switched over. Don't worry. I just got the link posted. I'm so sorry about that.
That's fine.
I caught myself. I'm just like, oh shit, I should probably not.
Got it.
That is perfect. That is perfectly fine. Based on the novel of the same name, the story tells of Theo Decker, who was 13 years old when his mother was killed in a bombing at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. The tragedy changes the course of his life, sending him on a string odyssey of grief and guilt, reinvention and redemption, and even love. Through it all, he holds on to one tangible piece of hope from that terrible day, a painting of a tiny bird chained to its perch, the Goldfinch, while also trying to balance his new and unexpected life without his mother. First off, I just want to say that this trailer looks gorgeous. The acting is superb. The shots and the angles are all well designed to give us that almost aesthetic feel as to how to tell a story. I should mention that the film is directed by John Crowley, the director of the critically acclaimed Brooklyn, which sadly I have never got the chance to watch, even though I heard wonderful things about it. But man, this trailer, I can gladly say that although the film does look artsy, it's shot and acted in a way where I just can't help it. I want to go see the movie when it comes out, and I hope you are able to find something interesting in it. And I hope this movie, is good and looks good, but we'll just have to wait and see. The film releases September 13th as well. Naka, Krüz, what do you have to say?
Krüz, go.
I do think this has a lot to offer, and I did see there's a YouTube comment in the video that was linked here that since Stranger Things fan has had a lot more kissing scenes, but I almost didn't think it was him because he was speaking with an accent, but the it's a lot more. I do see how it's an emotionally powerful one about coming to terms with a traumatic event. A less comic version of, what is it? What am I thinking of? Series of unfortunate events. There's a less comic version of that. It's like a
an actual emotional version of like kind of that kind of story. Yeah, I do. That's not what I go for usually if I want to see a movie, but that doesn't mean that I don't think it's good. I think that I don't know about the whole reason about the connecting to the painting because it was survived. I mean, if it survived the thing, yeah, of course you'd think it has significance, but yeah, if you want something that's like an emotional, redeeming story, I do believe this thoroughly will deliver on that.
I mean, I completely agree with everything that Krüz just said, but because I didn't really talk about this publicly, but a week after my birthday, my grandfather had a stroke, and thank fuck he survived. Thank God, because my dad was going down to his house to pick him up for an eye appointment he had that day, and when he didn't answer, thankfully we only lived 10 minutes away from him, and we got him to the hospital and everything, but it was it's been hard on us for 3 months.
Wow.
And
I literally just went and grabbed it. What was the premise? Sorry.
TLDR, my grandpa had a stroke a week after my birthday. And he's surviving. He's survived.
Having like the surprise thing when I had to fly down to Florida, and you may remember when I missed that episode, but yeah, that.
And thank God he survived, and thank God he's been recovering and shit. And I realize this is getting pretty dark. I realize this is getting pretty down. I want to kind of uplift that in a little bit, but we've had to.
You can't have the light without the dark.
Yeah,
Right.
There's always got to be a balance.
What do you have? But what are your final thoughts on this trailer?
Can I finish my story real quick?
Yes.
But coming to terms, having to deal with like trauma and stuff. We had to sell his house and everything, but it's at least the upside of that is he gets to stay in multifamily care for a long time, like a multi-person care where he's not in a hospital bed, where he's actually in a house where he can actually go outside and get sunlight, somewhat on his own. He can't walk, but he's in a wheelchair, and he gets help and everything, but it's a lot better than it was 2 months ago, that's for sure. But it's still, it's a bit easier for me because, well, it was definitely affecting my mom and my dad for sure, and I'm kind of dragging this out for some reason, but basically, we're on the upswing of it. And I think a film like this, well, I personally would not go see it just because I'm not really into art films like this, but that's just me because I have a sandwich brain. And
what are you, an idiot sandwich?
And would rather see somebody just talk about a bucket for 2 hours.
Bucket? Then I have the man for you, Gavin Free.
But if you do want to go see it and this film looks awesome, go ahead and go see it. I'm not stopping you.
All right. Well, that is it for all of the movies that are coming out for the week ahead. And now it's time to move on to
the elephant in the room.
Yeah, we have to talk about something before talking about the coming attractions, which I think we can all agree that this is going to be an interesting one. But anyway, it is time to finally talk about Disney Plus. Obviously, I can't talk about the other coming attractions without talking about Disney Plus first. Since D23, the biennial Disney convention where Disney announces all of its latest attractions, including current film productions in their own animated and live-action studios, along with Pixar, Star Wars, and Marvel, as well as their new theme park attractions. It's almost amazing how a lot of people have been talking about their new streaming platform known as Disney Plus. I recently talked to my siblings and they were actually considering obtaining this, which, is kind of cool because whether or not you're planning on subscribing to this service anyway, everyone is talking about it. This makes sense to talk about what Disney Plus entails with the service. For a monthly fee of $6.99 with no extra cost to high quality visuals, you have access to pretty much the entire Disney library, which includes just a quick little disclaimer. The library will not all be available at launch. It'll probably be released, in a couple weeks or so. So just kind of be patient, but it is within promise. You just kind of have to wait. But anyway, pretty much the entire Disney library, which includes, in chronological order, all 57 of its original animated content from Snow White to Ralph Breaks the Internet, most, if not all, the entire live-action Disney library, minus Song of the South, because that's another can of worms that we can't really talk about here. The entire Pixar library, from Toy Story to 2019 to the 2019 film Toy Story 4, all Star Wars content from A New Hope to The Last Jedi, all Marvel Cinematic Universe content from the Iron Man to Avengers Endgame, some very interesting TV shows from National Geographic, as well as much of their content. And funnily enough, because why not? Every single episode of The Simpsons that aired on Fox, since Disney now pretty much owns most of Fox. But the biggest perk by far...
Damn it, I didn't have a setup for this. Hold on. Give me like 30 seconds. I want to get this set up real quick. You said something about The Simpsons, huh? Hold on. Why
are you doing this?
You do this. You couldn't have done the Green Day version?
No. Okay, go on. I just wanted to make that Simpsons joke.
Anyway, but the biggest perk by far is that it will also be streaming its original content by creating series that we know and love from Disney, Star Wars, and Marvel, which will be discussed in due course. The streaming services will debut its platform on November 12th. Shudder, they don't own Spider-Man, not yet anyway.
Well, that's part of the problem, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't own half the NASCAR TV contract, but, that could be possible.
Anyway, the streaming service will debut its platform on November 12th. While this may seem like a ways away, we just think it's best to discuss it now, considering that this is huge news for pretty much everyone. Before we do talk about the content that will be premiering along with it, of course, it is very difficult for me and for my co-host and I not to discuss the unwanted side effects Disney Plus may bring in the future, especially to its biggest competitor, Netflix. A lot of people see Disney Plus as the unwanted destroyer of golden era media streaming, and yeah, I would probably be lying if I said I didn't feel the same way too. Disney will soon be removing content from Netflix if it hasn't already done so that people will end up going to their streaming services, aiming to pretty much knock Netflix off the mountain, cementing itself as the highest subscribed streaming services in the world. Part of me doesn't want to see Netflix be destroyed, but I'm also very interested to see how this power play in this chess game is going to go, because, hey, it's interesting to watch, to say the least. Will Disney Plus destroy Netflix and come out on top?
I hope not, because I want a second season of Hyperdrive.
Or will Disney Plus suffer from its late start of jumping into the streaming line along streaming networks? Or is there even such a thing as jumping in too late? I guess we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, what do you guys have to say regarding that? Disney Plus and, all these other things.
I mean, since the announcement of Disney Plus, Warner Media was like, hey, we're going to pull all our shit and we're going to make a new, we're going to make a streaming service for all this shit. For all the shit that we owned. I believe they announced that.
Really? Do you know what it's called?
Not off the top of my head, but it's just like all these media companies with like properties that they own that are in like Netflix or Hulu, they're all jumping ship. They're all making their own shit.
Yeah.
And it's basically, it was selecting a cable package. Now you don't select a cable package, and you select your streaming services. Now you select your streaming services to make your cable package.
Basically, it's an ongoing history is basically repeating itself. It went from cable to pay to now streaming services has kind of become streaming services is I'm just gonna say this right now, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people are gonna disagree with me. I can go my entire life without ever having cable. I don't know about you guys, but I sure as hell can.
Well, seeing as how there's streaming services that offer live TV, like YouTube TV, that's fine with me.
Yeah.
Because then I
and-
can cancel anytime. I'm not locked into a contract or anything like that. See,
Yep.
now, they're not going to take away the Gabriel Iglesias specials because if they're like Netflix, if it's actual Netflix content, it's, it's going to stay on there.
But other than that, I mean, I don't really, part of me doesn't want to see Netflix be destroyed, but at the same time, I am interested to see how it's going to go. I'm pretty sure we can all agree on that. We're interested to see what it's going to do. On that note, on with the content. We're only going to talk about the two that were the most popular. If you want to watch the others, just click on the previous link we provided.
Cable does suck.
And that will...
I know, but it's like...
yeah, cable
here's the thing,
does. I would never...
My roommate has Hulu, so we've been able to watch like South Park and some other shows. But like, I'm glad that I found an alternative for watching football games because the NFL app offers free in-market streams. I don't have to spend $40, which now would be $50 on YouTube TV a month, because I can also listen to the stream, the audio stream for Caps games, because the radio broadcaster guy is much better. Although Joby and Locker, they're classics on TV. But
anyway, we're going to talk about just the two trailers that were premiering on, that is going to be premiering on Disney Plus once it hits November 12th. The first one is The Mandalorian. Oh, by the way, before I keep forgetting something that I need to talk about. I just want to bring up, I did post a link of tweets in on Twitter like a week ago so that people can like follow along to all the coming attractions that we posted, because I just figured, well, we have so much to talk about, we might as well just bring it up.
Can you give
so that
me
people
that so I don't have to repost everything?
No,
I
no,
know we agreed on this before, and I'm making a joke.
Yes, yeah.
Don't worry,
The
I'm not being
Mandalorian.
stupid.
The Mandalorian. After the end of the Empire and before the First Order, a series tells the story of a lone bounty hunter who questions his own morals.
Oh yeah, we're getting more lore about the Mandalorians that isn't in the cartoons that you can't watch anymore because of fucking licensing bullshit, and you don't know what the fuck you're supposed to start at.
But Boba Fett.
Yeah, Boba Fett. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
well,
but there's also
what do you
more
have to-
Mandalorian lore in, like, the Clone Wars cartoon, which I don't know where the fuck you can find that anymore.
I mean, this is kind of an original story. So this, I don't know if that is Boba Fett, but this is kind of an original story. But what do you have to say regarding this?
Yes.
You
Just
really
release it.
Like? Yeah, it is. It's going to be released on Disney Plus.
it looks, I mean, I guess it's a cool series. But here's the thing: there's a lot of I don't know about the per month thing, but to get that access to all that content, I think that's the thing that streaming services have to battle over, which is like content. Which content do we have that no one else has? What can we, sort of boast out on? Disney has quite a lot. And this is like a new show is, a drop in the like anyone could do that. HBO can do that. Amazon could do that. Netflix can do that. Anyone can do a new series. But it's what's backing it. I think that really gives it like, you need our service in addition to another service.
Oh.
But I don't know. Yeah, that's stonks. I'm crossing my arms in real life. Stonks.
Stonks.
Anyway, but anyway, I'm gonna move on to the last thing that is premiering on Disney Plus. Lady and the Tramp. It's a Disney live-action remake that will not be released in theaters, but will actually be released on Disney Plus, which is for the first time ever. So it's kind of gonna be interesting.
More reason not to watch this bullshit.
It's fishy.
A young, beautiful dog realizes there's more to life when she meets a scoundrel mutt that sweeps her off her feet and tells her there's more to life to live with humans. I will admit, it is shot very nice.
They eat spaghetti in an alleyway, and then some shit happens, and that's all I know.
Really? That's all you know? You don't remember this movie at all?
It's been like fucking 15, 16 years since I last saw this movie.
But But what do you have to say regarding this live action remake? Because I can hear the hell no's coming out of your mouth.
Stop. Just stop, Disney. Stop.
Stop
it. Get some help.
Stop it. Get some milk. I don't know, because there's a weird mix between doing the...
You know what? In my opinion,
the feral characters with mouths that speak. There's a little bit of weirdness to that.
So you want to know something interesting? The film is actually shot with real animals, but they CG the mouths. Why couldn't they just make it like Homeward Bound?
Markiplier could do that.
Why couldn't they just make it like Homeward Bound, where they're speaking with telepathy? That would have been much more tolerable. But anyway, that is it for Disney Plus. We're gonna be moving on to our.
Hold on. You know what? You know what's just gonna come out in this movie? If I can fucking get the fuck image. Here we go. You know what's just gonna happen in this movie? There's just gonna be spinning spaghetti.
Really?
Yeah. Just give it about 30 seconds on your feed, then the joke actually works. It's this is what I used to do as a kid in the computer labs. This is what I would set the screensavers to. Just spinning spaghetti. Actually, no. I'm just because I'm unoriginal and unfunny. I'm just retelling something that Varg Skeletor as in Vide Sauce Joel did, and it's like this is what I used to do. I would just make spinning spaghetti.
Granddad.
Anyway, that is it for our visuals. We're moving on to our coming attractions with Lucy in the Sky. An astronaut returns to Earth after a lengthy mission and begins an affair with a fellow astronaut. She heads into a downward spiral as she loses her connection to her family.
You sound so excited, like you want to see this movie.
Not really. I'm just putting on the announcer voice.
Oh, well. What do you have to say regarding this?
Just don't have a goddamn affair.
Who? Is this Gravity again?
I mean, it could be.
I know. It looks like it has a little more story than that.
This is probably one of... I'm just going to say this right now. Aside from this trailer, all of the trailers that I want to talk about are so interesting. All of them. They're all interesting to talk about. But yeah, that's basically Lucy in the Sky. Why don't we move on to Gemini Man? An assassin goes up against a younger clone of himself who can predict his every move, who must now uncover the truth of his creation and save him from going down the dark path he did. Guys, I want to let you know, this film is actually directed by Ang Lee, the director of Brokeback Mountain.
Is this... See, what this movie reminds me of, it does not remind me of two naked cowboys fucking in a tent.
Wait, you actually saw that movie? Holy shit.
No, I didn't, but that's the joke of Brokeback Mountain.
It's just... it wasn't that Geiger or something. It's like, you ever seen Brokeback Mountain? No, I haven't.
No. So you know what? This is a Family Guy cutaway. I want to, I'm gonna make a version of Brokeback Mountain, but it's shot from the horse's perspective.
No, but seriously, this trailer is very interesting. It
reminds me a lot of Looper.
Yeah.
Where not Batman, but the guy who's Robin in The Dark Knight Rises. He has to go and kill Bruce Willis, who's his older self, because he's a criminal and he's supposed to end the loop, even though that doesn't
Joseph Gordon-Levitt?
make sense. Yes.
Oh, I actually really like Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I didn't know you were a fan of him.
I was a fan of the movie that I'm talking about that he was in.
Right.
It reminds me of Looper, and that's not a bad thing.
No, Looper's a really good movie. I actually really enjoy it. Why don't we move on to our... I forgot. Yeah. Why don't we move on to our next film, which is Jojo Rabbit. A lonely boy in World War II has his worldview turned upside down when he finds his mother hiding a Jewish girl and unfortunately struggles with an imaginary Hitler who must now figure out what to do. I should also mention, guys, that the film is directed by Taika Waititi, the director of Thor Ragnarok. And I actually really want to see this
film.
Yes, and I actually really want to see this. I don't know about you guys. What do you think? Like, it's always fun to make fun of Nazis.
It's supposed to be a dark comedy, I think, is what it is. And Taika Waititi actually is a very good comedic writer, so this is gonna work, I think.
I think it's gonna work as well. What do you say, Krüz?
I think I like how it unfortunately, like the whole thing about making fun of Nazis has become a fad to like make people feel good about themselves. But this, in the way that this does it, is kind of like it's making it's satire in a somewhat refreshing way.
Yeah.
From the trailers or from what I've seen, it looks like something I'd give my time to see. Yeah, and also did love Thor Ragnarok, of course, because
but yeah,
aside
that's
from
really
the big wolf boy, but
yeah.
because of war.
With that said, I do want to talk about our next film, which is basically Gravity but underwater. The film is called
And with an emotional
Underwater.
actress.
A crew of underwater researchers must scramble to safety after an earthquake devastates their subterranean laboratory. I can't tell if this is basically the underwater version of Gravity with Sandra Bullock, but
No, it's the underwater version of Gravity.
And I actually,
no, it's better than Gravity because Sandra Bullock can actually show human emotion.
I actually really like Gravity though.
Yeah,
And
because
also-
she can show human emotion, unlike Kristen Stewart.
Well,
You get it? That's the joke.
You know, there is something I do need to talk to you guys about. Kristen Stewart has been trying to separate herself from the Twilight series because, you know, she didn't do it for the acting. She did it for the money. That's kind of how it goes. And thankfully, she's
supposed to make it better.
Spaghetti.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, maybe.
It's just,
I don't
it's
know.
like, yeah, forget that I suck at acting so I can suck at acting elsewhere.
Wow.
Yeah, that's okay. Yep.
Anyway. Naka, what do you have to say regarding this?
It's Gravity underwater, and I liked Gravity, so I'm probably going to give this thing a watch.
Okay.
I did like the creepy alien-looking shit that was going on with the trailer.
Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on to a subpar comedy with Playing with Fire. A crew of rugged
How
fighters
to get
meet
burned.
their match when attempting to rescue
on
three
the
rambunctious kids. And it stars John Cena.
That's already enough for me to go watch it.
No, but really, what is your opinion on this subpar comedy?
It's supposed to... If it's a dumb comedy, it's a dumb comedy. You go for comic relief. You're not going in because, oh, I want to analyze the story and, you know, I want to make sure that like, all these characters have their own separate arcs. No, you go in, you have a couple of beers, you sit around and laugh for an hour and a half, and there you go. You're supposed to have fun with the movie. Is there a point where we can just enjoy movies for what they are and like enjoy comedy or enjoy what they are without having to go into such analytical bullshit like you do?
But that's the whole point of me being a good critic.
Yeah, well, sometimes you kill things when you do that. But there's good comedies, and then there's
Adam Sandler.
Well, we're not going there.
Adam
but
Sandler is another genre.
He's comedy.
There's post mid 2000s Adam Sandler movies.
Yes.
We know this. John Cena in this was like, yeah, I got the impression of the film from the trailer. I'll give it that. That's, but it's not something good go on my way to see, but, I'd get a few laughs out of it, and then that's the end of it. But people acting like that film is supposed to be impactful, that's part of the problem is people like, it's not supposed to be impactful. That's the whole point. It's supposed to be stupid because stupid people are stupid things. I'm part stupid.
Anyway.
I would know.
Let's move on to the next film, which is going to be released on Netflix. I have this film with a star because it is a Red Band trailer. I also had a little trouble looking for a trailer for this one because every trailer that I clicked on played a 5-second mini clip before the trailer actually began, and I hate that shit. I don't understand why, TVs and movies have to do this. It's really dumb. Anyway, Dolomite Is My Name is a multi-talented man strikes out of his own to make the 1975 blaxploitation film Dolomite when Hollywood shuts him off. What do you have to say regarding this film, Naka Krüz?
This sounds like it's going to be very political, and I don't want to talk about politics.
Well, I'm going to say this right now.
It's like tennis, and it's boring.
It probably is, but
Well, I haven't
welcome-
seen
it's
I
welcome
haven't
to-
seen Eddie Murphy in a while, like a
yeah,
long
I was gonna
time.
say it's welcome to see Eddie Murphy doing something.
But
But-
if it gets too political, then I'd just be like, why?
It's
Why?
not like-
Murphy?
It's a biographical comedy.
Yeah, I mean, it's not gonna be like Black Klansman, where it's like they show the movie and at the end it's like they put leftist Twitter on on blast for everyone to hear. It's kind of like we get it, but also it's kind of like you're beating a dead horse.
Yeah.
So
Anyway.
at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if it did. I hope fuck it.
I just hope it doesn't.
Funny movie. Fuck it, I'll go see it.
But anyway, let's move on to Little Women. 4 sisters come
No.
of age in America in the aftermath of...
we
Oh, honey,
skipped
it's
one.
Honey Boy. It's Honey Boy. I'm stupid. We're going to talk about these things out of order because I'm a dummy.
All right, well, let's start with Little Women. 4 sisters come of age in America in the aftermath of the Civil War. It's based off the book of the same name, and it's like the 7th rendition of Little Women. I don't even know what rendition I want to watch because all of them seem, I don't know. I don't know. What do you have to say regarding this movie, Krüz?
I mean, I like Civil War stuff and Civil War era stuff, except if it's overly racist, and that's when I just say no.
It is a good band. It's what some members of Sabaton split off to make. Little Women. I haven't. I think was it one of the actresses named Saoirse? I only know how to pronounce that because of Jacksepticeye, and I know it's a very Irish name. And because being Irish, it looks nothing like it appears.
Right.
It looks like Saoirse. No, it's Saoirse.
The author is Louisa May Alcott, and she was a Pennsylvania.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Shutter just got a tornado
Alicia.
warning.
Well, fuck.
do you mean?
Rip.
I know you like enjoying watching the show, and if it gets to a point where it becomes too dangerous for you to keep watching or listening on whatever device you're watching or listening on, go take care of yourself and make sure that you and your coworkers or the other people around you are safe, and then come back to us. Okay?
Yeah, because if you die, you can't recommend us to your friends.
Anyway,
That's
you're
a
doing
joke.
that for selfish reasons. I know that's a joke, but you're saying that for selfish reasons, while I'm trying to say it in the interest of public safety.
Okay.
Anyway, the show goes on. Can we?
If you're actually going to fucking
Yes,
die,
we're talking about
you
Honey Boy
save
now.
save
Yes.
your own goddamn life.
Honey Boy, a child actor works to mend the relationship with his hard-drinking, law-breaking father. It's good to see Shia LaBeouf back in the acting chair, especially since he definitely needs to recover from
Went
his.
off the hinges. He will not divide us.
Stop it.
That's his words, not mine.
Well, I like Shia LaBeouf, so and if he has to do that, then that's what he has to do. So, yeah.
And at the point of harassing other people in public, yeah, sure.
What do you have to say regarding this movie, Naka? The trailer, rather.
The trailer? I mean, hard drinking, law breaking father. That's also something that's a little bit personal. It's not like my blood family, but it's something that happened recently that I really don't want to talk about, and it just kind of put a sour taste in my mouth. But I understand that, hey,
It's hard
that's
thing
what
to go
films can do sometimes, is that, sometimes you actually have feelings that happen that correspond with, the themes in the movie. So,
Right.
That's
but-
what the movies want to go after.
again, go watch it if you want to go watch it, but it's just like, for right now, I kind of don't want to watch this.
Okay. All right. Well, let's move on to the next trailer, which is Harriet, an iconic story of a black woman escaping her way to freedom from the antebellum South, who must now go on a mission to not only free her family, but dozens of other slaves like herself. So what do you have to say regarding this movie? Because this looks amazing.
Again,
not a
it's
bit
more
Oscar
Civil War.
baity.
Again, it's more Civil War stories. I'm a sucker for that shit.
Oh, so you do want to see this?
Yes,
Oh.
because
What do you have to say regarding?
because
regarding
it's
this
from the
one?
side that objectively we shouldn't have had a war from in the first place because they were right.
Right.
I understand that, there are more ideals that the Confederates wanted rather than just keeping slavery, but that was their main point.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you have to say regarding
You're in a
this?
bit of a weird place here because Maryland, technically being a southern state, not to shape the ideology here, but because I know I've been to South Carolina and just say that it's a little different there, but I'll say there's wonderful people there. Not sounds like a certain quote of that, but the story of this is something that I haven't quite seen in a movie form before. So I feel like that's an interesting thing to see because the last thing I saw like this was something with a horrifically stupid title, which was the sequel to Haunting in Connecticut. And the title of the movie, let me say it, Haunting in Connecticut, Ghosts of Georgia. What the ever-loving fuck are you thinking? It's entirely about Georgia and has nothing to do with the original story about what happened in Connecticut. So, why the fuck did you call it that?
But yeah, I personally want to see this movie.
But this looks, it's like its own thing, and it looks like it's going to, tell the story in, I would hope, a just way.
Anyway, let us move on to the I can't even think right now. Let's move on to the next trailer, which is The Kill Team. A young American soldier in Afghanistan is disturbed by his commanding officer's behavior and is faced with the moral dilemma.
That's a thinker. It's like, do I report my CO's behavior for the sake of my own sanity and safety, or do I let it go because if he gets in trouble, not only could I be fucked with, but we might lose the war. It's a very, 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 it's one thing that you really, really would need to think of hard. And that's why this movie is so interesting.
You don't have a lot of time to think about it given where you are.
Yeah.
So that makes a lot of, it's a huge moral dilemma.
And especially in such a volatile place such as the Midwest, Middle East. That's a joke from Anchorman, by the way, because Brick was reporting the weather, and he's reporting it for the Midwest, but he says the Middle East. But yeah, this just because of the psychological thought of this, that's one reason why I'd go see it.
Anyway, do you want to? Would you see this film, Krüz?
I feel like I would because I saw kind of gives me a similar, well, not similar premise. I guess it's Lone Survivor, but it's focusing on a different part of that experience because that was a guy who's separated from his unit in Afghanistan versus someone who's in Afghanistan, trying to if you're gonna report someone for war crimes, that's a big fucking deal, especially if it's your commanding officer and there's a point if you're gonna do that, you have to commit, and that's a very difficult thing to do, especially if it means that you feel like everyone else is turning on you.
Right.
But
yeah. Anyway, we're gonna move on to the next trailer, which is a movie that I am most looking forward to. It is a film that is directed by Terrence Malick. The film is called A Hidden Life. An Austrian conscientious objector must choose between his faith for his country or what he believes in after refusing to fight for the Third Reich in World War II. And
again, it's the same. Yeah. It's the same premise as The Kill Team, except it's, I believe, on a much bigger scale because it's do I fight for my country or do I go on with the country or with the people that are supposedly gonna provide me with a better life?
And the Anschluss happens and all that. Yeah, one of the courses I took in Art of Budapest campus was the book was appropriately named Europe on Trial, which was basically it wasn't attempting to label countries as this, but determining to what extent countries either resisted, collaborated, or accommodated, German aggression or Soviet aggression. Hungary, of course, they made their own mistakes. Romania, anything, but Austria was given very little choice.
but also widely accepted because they spoke German. They wanted to be part of Germany versus just the other German-speaking people. You have to think about what the national feeling was versus just in concepts of Nazis versus non-Nazis, of like what people felt of their own nation.
Right.
So you could see it gets a lot more complicated with what this Austrian person here was dealing with. But yeah, it does take a lot, I guess, to oppose that, given where you are and given how much pressure is coming in from around you.
All right. We continue with our war stories with 1917. At the height of the First World War, 2 young British soldiers are given a seemingly impossible mission: crossing enemy territory to deliver a warning of a trap to save 1,600 soldiers. And the film, I should also mention, is directed by Sam Mendes, who also directed the films such as 007 Skyfall, which I haven't seen. I heard it's really, really good. And American Beauty, which I keep telling Naka to go watch, but he hasn't seen it.
And don't tell me what to do.
Anyway, have a nice day. Anyway, I really want to see this film.
I've seen the Skyfall one, but I really did like the trailer of this, especially because it's fitting because this year, because of course, as I mentioned earlier in the stream, the Sabaton album, and then this semester I'm taking a class on World War One, and then I see this. It's kind of like all the pieces are coming together, and I'm interested to see how this story goes out because of course Benedict Cumberbatch being an amazing actor, they're probably fill in some more pieces because the First World War is a conflict that has a lot more stuff to it than people think. Yeah.
Krüz,
it's going to be a pretty good movie.
Naka?
I mean, pretty much Krüz just hit all my points.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh. So you do want to see this movie?
Yes, I like war stories.
All right. The next film, which is going to be a Martin Scorsese film, is The Irishman. A mob hitman recalls his possible involvement with the slaying of a well-known gangster whose body today has not been found. I do want to make something clear. This is a Martin Scorsese film, and Joe Pesci is back. Because thank God, I haven't seen Joe Pesci in a long ass time.
Hey, yeah. Apparently, I saw something come up about this film, that an announcement that said it wasn't going to be in certain theaters.
It was not going to be in certain theaters, if only because Netflix is probably going to be releasing it first. So it'll probably be released in a limited time.
Yeah,
so thank goodness you're back, Shutter.
I have Netflix, so I'm going to be able to see it. But I'm like, no, I feel like that's the thing some people wanted to know. But if you have Netflix, you're going to be able to see it. If it's not in a theater near you, you might have to go a little out of your way to do it.
Right. I should also mention that the film is 3.5 hours long.
Jesus Christ.
Woof.
Yeah, Martin Scorsese, I don't know what he was thinking, but apparently he made a 3.5 hour film and decided
remaking The Godfather. Jesus.
I don't understand why he did it, but I guess he wanted to be sure that he acted it really well. But hey, he has a lot of time on his hands. He's making a film.
Joe Pesci, gangster film. Yeah, Goodfellas is a great movie.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant movie. But yeah, interested to see another, gangster film. The Irishman.
Anyway, let's move on to our next trailer. Parasite.
This is creepy.
An all-employed South Korean family takes peculiar interest in a wealthy and glamorous family for their livelihood until they get entangled in an unexpected incident.
It is creepy. Unemployed.
Right. Unemployed. I do want to see this movie. It looks... I don't even care if the whole film is in Korean. I really want to see it. I don't know about you guys, but...
It appears to be in English, but yeah. I mean, some parts too. But because
what do you
I
have to say regarding? What do you have to say regarding?
It's creepy,
this film?
but it's creepy in a good way. It's kind of like Us, and it's that psychedelic and psychological horror.
I'm not
Yeah.
sure quite what's happening, but I think that it's a lot of manipulation and that gesture that I'm doing right now of like that people do and money, the not snapping but like rubbing fingers together. You rub your fingers together. Yeah, it's a lot of like that going on.
It was a little upsetting. The film was originally scheduled to be screened as a closing film at First International Film Festival in Xining in China on July 28th, but on July 27th, the film festival organizers announced that the screening was canceled for quote-unquote technical reasons. I don't know why, but it's perfectly...
Technical reasons. It's probably because the Chinese didn't want a Korean film closing out the film festival because they're
You achieve
dicks.
100 technical difficulty music.
But it doesn't...
It's probably because
but
the
it-
Chinese are dicks.
But it doesn't matter because the film is going to be releasing in October, but we'll talk about that when we get around to it. Anyway, continuing on, we have another film by A24 known as The Lighthouse, a story that chronicles the gritty adventures of two lighthouse keepers as they are faced with loneliness, friendship, and their worst fears.
This reminds me a lot of Firewatch, except the two characters actually interact face to face.
Firewatch? Oh, the game?
The game Firewatch?
Yes.
Yeah, so I saw a comment on the video that compared it to Twilight Zone. I thought that's pretty accurate considering a lot of it being black and white.
It's also shot in a way where it's like, it's not in the usual, format that we see for film nowadays.
It looks pretty. I like that it looks like subtly creepy, like old school creepy. I like that look.
What do you have to say regarding
this one's interesting to me.
What do you have to say regarding this film, Naka?
Like I said, it reminds me a lot of Firewatch, except these two characters actually, interact face to face with each other and the conflict. And, I really enjoyed Firewatch, so I'm probably going to really enjoy this film.
Okay.
That is if I get off my fat ass and go see it.
Well, anyway, let's move on to our next film, which is Motherless Brooklyn. A private investigator with Tourette syndrome works to solve the mystery of his mentor's murder in 1950s New York. Now, I want to make this very clear. I do not see this as a ripoff of Rain Man. I want to make that clear as possible. This is not another Rain Man film. But what do you have to say regarding this trailer? Because this looks interesting, especially given that you also have Edward Norton playing the role.
Yeah. Well, first things first, Seawolf brings up the fact that Nova Scotia and Newfoundland are being pounded by Hurricane Dorian. So I guess you could say the town of Dildo is getting pounded right now.
Really?
Yeah, Dildo, Newfoundland. Apparently Jimmy Kimmel's the mayor because he's from Nova Scotia, Newfoundland.
Is he from?
Anyway.
Is he saying he's from Dildo, Nova Scotia?
Anyway,
the
what do you?
mayor.
I thought there was a city called Dildo in Canada.
Yeah, there.
But anyway,
Have a good night,
Motherless
Shutter.
Brooklyn.
Be safe.
Good night, Shutter.
Bye.
You bring up Tourette's in your little blurb.
Tourette's is nothing to. I'm just gonna say this right now. Tourette syndrome is nothing to joke about.
It's not.
It really isn't.
It's not. We all laugh at Tourette's guy, but I believe that guy's actually that whole thing has been faked.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, even.
And I know South Park did an episode about it,
South Park. It's like.
but Tourette's really isn't something to fuck with. And people always think, oh, you just swear a bunch. No, it's like people have some pretty
honestly just,
serious tics.
It looks.
And it really
sounds
messes
more like a stutter than.
And not only that, it really messes, with the way you talk and the way you act.
Yeah,
and
you could see it with in the trailer where the guy keeps blowing out the match before the woman can actually light her cigarette with it. It's like, sorry. It's but in his brain, he's like, I have to get it right. So it's kind of a little. You start to see how it can impact them in daily life.
And it's also partially of it's your mental health and your mental illness probably trying to get the better of you, and you're just you're just trying to work with it, and sometimes it's hard. It's fucking difficult, man.
Yeah, it really is, and I really hope that this film does it justice. Really. However, would you see this film?
Probably not, because I don't want to feel guilty about my mental illness.
And Krüz?
I mean, the fact that I was actually diagnosed, like, you know, in like May, like March, somewhere in the springtime, with very high functioning Asperger's syndrome, and it makes like unraveling part of my life and making me relive it and realize that, yeah, I kind of don't want to relive that again.
Yeah, well,
Oh, okay.
Oopsies, I'm
And,
an Aspie.
Yeah, well, guess what? Join the club. Welcome to the Losers Club, asshole. Yeah, well, we all got it.
Yep,
You know how
we
to
do.
deal with it. But,
Yes.
well, it's not the same for everyone. But this, I think, the Edward Norton's acting of it seems more honest,
Yes.
if anything. So I think that part of it is in the clear. I mean, he's I mean,
Oh,
I'm sure
Christ.
exactly what about it is with his mentor's murder that's going on, but you know, he's the one. It's like he gets the whole thing of like, oh, you don't mess with the mob boss or something. It's like you always got the guy. It's like, oh, who the fuck the mob boss think he is? And then
Anyway.
Oh no. Oh god. Oh geez. Oh man. I was just checking on the Sunday night football game. It's 26-3. Patriots up. 8
Damn
minutes
it.
and 5 seconds left in the third quarter.
fuck you, Pittsburgh.
Anyway.
Fuck you,
let's-
Baltimore. If you're dumb enough to come to a baseball game this weekend, you're dumb enough schmuck to come to Camden Yards.
Anyway.
Yeah, well, I watched that. I know.
Can I
Yes,
Can I
we
move on to
we can move on to Dr. Schleep.
Based on the book of the same name, a man tormented by his past as a boy must now come face to face by stopping an evil force from destroying gifted children who have a particular shine. This is a film that I really want to see because it's based off the critically acclaimed book adapted film, The Shining, and I really want to see this film. What do you have to say regarding this film, Naka Krüz?
I'm kind of indifferent about it because as much as I make fun of like, yeah, let's kill children, it's just like, you know, if they're, well, also define gifted and destroying gifted children who have a particular shine, as in, you know, they have this one certain thing that makes them extra special, and it's like you're destroying that, and it's just like, what the fuck? You're just like, what the fuck? And then you have to stop this insurmountable evil force. It's probably Gygas. Let's just point it out there. It's just an insurmountable evil force that you have no idea. It's intangible. It's just Gygas.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, I really want to see this film because I really like The Shining, and I kind of want to see what this film has to offer. Krüz, you being a fan of horror yourself, you are a fan of The Shining as well, I presume.
Yeah, I think I'm interested to see what this film. I mean, besides from the obvious little nods it gives in the trailer to see what it does with, you know, the grown-up kid from The Shining, see like what it, you know, how this has gone with him through his life. Oh yeah, Seawolf, I didn't watch it, but I saw that the Florida Gators kicked ass. Chomp chomp, bitch. What?
Anyway, why don't we move on to our next film, Terminator Dark Fate. A woman and a hybrid cyberhuman must protect a young girl from a newly modified liquid robot from the future. I don't know what he's saying, but okay.
Something Austria, something.
I've literally
I just
seen.
want to let you guys know that gag was all practical. I threw down my headset and started running down the goddamn stairs.
For what?
I did a gag. Did you not hear me
okay.
get to
For the bit.
I suppose you're very excited for this film?
I just wanted to make the joke, to be honest.
Okay, well,
No, but it you know, it's just part of the thing. It's like, why are we getting a sequel so far ahead in advance? It reminds me of, I hope it turns out well, but at the same time, I hope it doesn't turn into the Independence Day sequel.
no, neither do I. But it is produced by James Cameron, which, as much as I will not fault him for Avatar, at least he does have a thing for Terminator, even though I kind of wish he would direct, but that's another story.
I'm a little lightheaded.
But did you ever see the second Terminator film?
What, Judgment
Naka
Day?
Krüz? Yeah.
Yeah.
What was
Yeah, I like it.
What was the most recent one before this that came out?
That would be
Genesis.
Salvation. Oh, Genesis. I thought.
Genesis?
I was thinking
Which-
Salvation was the last one.
I've seen that one, I think.
It was not very well received. Let's just put it that
Yeah.
way.
Put that cookie
But,
down.
But would you see this film?
Probably.
Okay.
Sure, and then probably go back and watch the rest of the Terminator. I'm like, there are some missing pieces, but I get the basis of Terminator because it's been such a cultural phenomenon.
All right. So I have to move on. So I'm going to move on to our next
Double
film,
tap,
which
bitch.
is
Always double
Wait.
tap.
Zombieland Double Tap. A group of people move to the American heartland as they face off against evolved zombies, fellow survivors, and the growing pains of the snarky makeshift family. Now I do
Always
have
double
one thing
tap.
I do have one thing I have to make clear. I literally had 3 of my friends literally showed me this trailer before I even noticed that it was out. And I had to tell each and every single one of them one by one that I never saw the original, and I feel
What is
so
wrong
bad
with
for
you?
You gave me shit for. You know what? That's it. I'm done.
You give me shit for not watching all these goddamn films when you haven't watched a bunch of the films that I've seen that you probably should have fucking watched before I did.
Oh, you mean like Titan AE?
Yes, Titan AE, The Blues Brothers, Spaceballs.
I've never seen Spaceballs.
Again! And Zombieland, that's another one. Add that to the goddamn list.
and all of the Fast and Furious films.
When is then going to be now? Soon.
But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and say this right now. I've never seen the first Zombieland film, mostly because I was literally in a home where it was rated R film. What can I say? It had everything people never liked about rated R, and I wasn't allowed to watch it for whatever reason. And that's basically kind of what
I
happened.
had cool parents.
Yeah,
I watched the film when it came out, or like a couple years after it came out. I should
And
say.
did you laugh hard
Yes,
as
it was
fuck?
great.
Oh, and did you laugh really, really hard?
Yes,
Okay. Is it a spoof? I forgot if it's a spoof.
it's a parody zombie movie. That's for sure.
Okay. All right. Well, that is Zombieland Double Tap. The next film that I do have to talk about that is relating to zombies is Little Monsters, and this one does have a star at the end of it, so this is a red band trailer. A washed-up musician teams up with a teacher and a kids show personality to protect young children from a sudden outbreak of zombies.
See,
I mean, it
Cody,
looks
that's what I said.
I mean, it looks interesting.
Little Monsters, eh.
Yeah.
Protect
The
young
movie is at
children
least 10
from
years
an outbreak
old.
of zombies. It just seems like, oh, we need to protect the children. Fuck the children. And not in the way that you think, as in just leave them for dead and fend for your own survival. Oh, but we gotta think about repopulating the species. They need to learn on their own. How old are these children? 5? They know what fisting is, because this is America. Don't catch you slipping now.
Nugget must be protected. Nugget is the chosen one.
Anyway, let us move on to our... I don't have much to say other than that this film looks interesting, but I don't know if I want to see it, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
You don't want to see it. If you don't want to
do I
see
sound
it,
all right?
give me shit for not seeing it.
Wait, what?
Do I
I'm
sound
probably
all
gonna-
right?
You sound fine.
Alright.
I'm asking what
just
exactly,
making sure.
Krüz, what did you say?
I'm saying if you said that, then you can't give me shit if I don't see it.
No, I was asking.
probably will.
I was asking you if you saw Zombieland, because most people that I
didn't see
know
the first
actually
one.
ended up seeing it.
I'll see the first one.
What's wrong
Okay.
with you people?
Dude, we don't have cool parents and are broke. What are we supposed to do? Anyway, with our next film, which is a very interesting film indeed, Joker. A failed stand-up comedian turns to a life of crime and chaos in Gotham City, slowly rising to become a frightening legend. Believe it or not, this film has actually garnished awards, and I'm very, very surprised. It's almost as if this film is actually like really good and being treated with utmost respect. Like most DC films should be if they were good. Anyway,
Yeah, well, hence the dilemma.
what do you have to say regarding this film? Krüz, Naka?
I hope it doesn't turn out like shit because like the critics just say, oh, it's gonna be great. Oh, it's gonna be great. Then it's gonna have like mass fan degradation. Be like, no, this movie fucking sucks.
I can guarantee it's probably going to do better than the well, I probably shouldn't say this, but the upcoming movie based on the companion of the titular character of this movie. It's probably going to be better than the movie about that person. I can say that with confidence.
What, Penguin? The Riddler? Bane?
The Diddler? What, Diddle Kid?
Are you referencing that one film that I really hope you're not referencing?
What?
No,
I
don't want to say
I was just naming off Batman villains.
Oh, okay. All right, good.
Nice to meet you, Timmy.
No, but seriously, I do want to see Joker. The next film is Charlie's Angels, and it's the 2019 after releasing at least 20 years after the 2000 version.
Jesus
Kristen
Christ!
Stewart, boo!
A new generation of private female detectives of various personalities begin working for the mysterious Charlie. This is based off the TV show that we never saw that aired in the mid to late 70s. I don't know how good it'll be. I am hoping it'll be good because I really like the one with Cameron Diaz, Lucy Liu, and
if it's anything like the GameCube game, I'm not fucking touching it.
Yeah, well,
there was a GameCube game.
Yes, there was a
Charlie's
GameCube
Angels.
You say Cameron Diaz,
Was it
and
bad?
then you say the next one is Kristen Stewart. Your expectations may need to be lowered by a few orders of magnitude.
Oh wow!
Someone who can show fucking human emotion.
It has a 2 out of 10 on Game Informer. That's really bad.
Shocker.
Yeah,
Shocking to no one.
But I do hope to see the. I do hope to see this film, and I hope it's really good.
It's probably not going to be. Anyway, moving on to the aeronauts.
A pilot and scientists find themselves in an epic fight for survival while attempting to make discoveries in a hot air balloon to create the idea of predicting the weather. This looks interesting to say the least. However, there's one big problem. They changed one of the characters to a female who was originally a male. Yeah.
That's not a problem, you anti-progressivist piece of shit.
Just kidding. I'm not gonna
Devil's advocate here.
I mean, the movie looks interesting, but why are you changing one of the key people from male to a female?
Why are you complaining, you misogynist?
Because you want to know why? Because they want to make it a love story. That's why. That's the only reason why they're doing it. It's
no reason.
It's not that we don't hate women. We love women. It's just that we do not kind of agree with this sort of thing.
No, you're just changing it for the sake of changing it. Honestly, the main reason why I didn't want to watch Ghostbusters 2016 was not because it was an all-female cast. It's because it didn't need to be touched. It didn't need to be rebooted.
And if it was rebooted, make it, you could have at least tied into the original.
And not have them as sideshow cameos.
Exactly.
Anyway. I mean, it would be kind of hard to make the dickless joke work.
What do you have to say? What do you have to say regarding this film, Krüz, Naka?
I mean, I like the weather, and this is kind of just like predicting it. It's the story of like, oh hey, we can finally learn how to predict the goddamn weather. Maybe this will be interesting. And then 50 goddamn years later, however long it's been since they had this idea, we still can't predict the goddamn weather.
Yeah.
We think we can, but we can't.
Anyway, and Krüz, what do you have to say regarding the aeronauts?
Having the sense of adventure. I mean, I guess it kind of reminds me a little bit, less to quite an extensive degree, reminds you a little bit of the, I forget what the title of it was, but it was the movie that came out about Amelia Earhart. Was it called Earhart?
That's a different movie. I don't know what it's called.
I know, but it was like the kind of adventure kind of feel to it.
I don't know what film it is, dude. I really don't. I wish I did, but I don't. But other than that, that's really all I have to say regarding that one. Do you want me to move on?
Yes, we're going to move on to the film that proved that America could kick everybody's ass on the global stage in the 60s.
Yeah.
Ford versus Ferrari. The true story of the battle between Ford and Ferrari to win Le Mans in 1966. So, I don't really know much about racing because Naka literally retweeted this trailer. So I'm just gonna let you have the floor on this one.
So
A real quick thing before that. Scarfy, the film is called Amelia, and it was 2009. That's
right.
just to give you that information.
Can you move on? All right, go.
So with Ford versus Ferrari, it's why is it said about Le Mans in 1966? It was because Ford set out in the 60s after. So the person running Ford at the time had a deal with Enzo Ferrari to buy Ferrari, and they had everything. They were just about to sign everything until Enzo noticed that it would be Ferrari could be used in motorsports, and Enzo did not want Ferraris in stock car racing. He did not want his brand tarnished in NASCAR.
Are Ferraris today in NASCAR?
No.
Wow.
I think it's almost exclusively American.
So
I need to continue
Okay.
because there's a lot of history behind this. Not only did Enzo not agree to the deal, he pretty much he basically just spit in the face of Ford. And I believe it was Henry Ford II. I believe it was.
Mm-hmm.
I know who, I know it was in the Henry Ford lineage. I just can't remember which one it was in the line. But he was so pissed that he decided to contact his European division to build a chassis and, a rolling shell. And then he contacted Carroll Shelby in good old North America to build engines for this car. It wasn't to beat anybody else. It was to beat Ferrari. And they were able to do it. I pretty much am just spoiling the goddamn movie, but it's pretty well known in history.
Well, I also have good news for you, Naka. The director is James Mangold, and he's responsible for directing the films The Wolverine in 2013 and Logan in 2017.
So he's got good credit underneath him.
He does. So I am hoping that they do this film justice because there is no excuse, for this film not to be bad. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping it'll be good for you.
There's plenty of actual history behind it that they can, go back to.
Anyway, I'm going to move on to our next film, which is The King's Man. And I am really excited about this because, as a collection of history's worst tyrants and criminals, masterminds gather to plot a war to wipe out millions, one man must race against time to stop them. What do you have to say regarding this film, Krüz? Because you're a huge fan of the Kingsman series.
Yeah, I really enjoyed both the movies. I think it's almost proper that they're going for more what appears to be more like a prequel film for this one.
Mm-hmm.
So it definitely has a different movie than the classic, teen spy movie kind of thing, like how I was. And you know what I found out? I was a huge fan of the Alex Rider books growing up. I found out apparently they didn't stop the series at Crocodile Tears. They kept going, and I'm like, what the fucking shit? I have to read up on this shit. Fuck you. But yeah, it's kind of like that, writ large at this point, because the Alex Rider, well, they kind of tried to make it movies, but it kind of also sucked. But we don't talk about that. This looks like a different kind of world building movie for this franchise, and I'm excited to see what it has to offer, and I think it should do well.
Naka, I'm just gonna spare you pity. Have you ever seen any of the Kingsman films?
Yes, I watched The Kingsman and The Kingsman 2 Golden Circle. I really enjoyed them.
Oh, so you're really excited to see this one?
Yes. I like how you just dismissed it as like, oh, he's not interested. He's probably never seen these films. Bitch.
Bitch. Bitch, I tell you what.
Well, me and Krüz talk more about these films than you do. That's the whole reason.
Well, you never asked.
Oh. Well, it's been proven otherwise. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on to the next trailer. 21 Bridges. An expertly trained NYPD detective.
God fucking damn it!
An expertly trained NYPD detective puts all of New York City on a lockdown in order for him and the other authorities to defeat a duo of cop killers who may or may not have killed his father.
It's like the opposite of the Purge. They shut down the bridges to keep in the criminals, but to try to keep in the criminals. It's because there's actual police activity going on, not because there's no police activity going on.
So, fun fact, this film is actually produced by the Russo brothers, who directed freaking Endgame and Infinity War, and it stars Chadwick Boseman from Black Panther in this film.
Worked with them before.
So I'm assuming this film will be good, and I hope it is, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, I was a Percy Jackson fan, and like the climax of the regular Percy Jackson series involved them pretty much, blocking off Manhattan. But I don't know if they got all 21 bridges. I think they just got most of them. They ended up just, fighting at the city center. But so that's kind of like, this kind of like put out an APB from him, and like, he's like, no, I'm down to fucking business, dude.
Well,
so this looks like a probably pretty intensive, crime drama kind of movie.
Anyway, would you guys see it?
Yes.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and move on to our next film, which is Queen and Slim. A couple's first date takes an unexpected turn when a police officer pulls them over and is accidentally murdered. They go on the run to avoid authorities as they make a new life. I forgot to edit that. New life for themselves. I'm going to go ahead and say that I already want to see this movie. It looks very, very interesting. And I don't really... guys, it already has me hooked. I don't know about you guys, but yeah, I kind of want to see it. I don't know if... do you guys want to see it? Yes, no, I don't know.
I've just we accidentally killed somebody. Let's go on the run so we can make a new life.
It looks well shot. At least it looks well shot, and it looks great,
Yeah, but the story is just, to me, eh.
And as for you, Krüz?
Yeah, I don't know. It's giving me different mixed vibes with this one, whether it's more of a comedy or a serious drama. So I'm like,
okay.
Not sure what to make of it. So I'm like, yeah, looks okay right now.
Yes. All right. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and move on to our next trailer, which is The Laundromat. A widow investigates an insurance fraud. Chasing leads to a pair of Panama City law partners exploiting the world's financial system.
Oh, great.
It looks funny. I just don't know what to think of it.
Same. Really?
Not Krüz?
Yeah.
You don't know what to think of it, do you?
It's this one. I forgot what the trailer's about, but yeah, I saw it.
It's like, I don't know what to think about. It's like me. I don't know what to think about, people shouting out. It's like, who is this Ozzy Osbourne person? Shout outs to Post Malone for making this guy famous and rich. And I'm just like, Ozzy Osbourne didn't do acid every day for an entire year and survive for him to be disrespected like this.
Yes. Anyway.
Yeah.
There's not much to say about this film. It looks interesting. I just don't know what to think. Anyway, let's move on to the really good stuff now. With Knives Out, a detective investigates the death of a patriarch of an eccentric combative family. And I'm already gonna say, it's the classic whodunit story, but it's also done with a lot of flair and a lot of pizzazz. And I'm just gonna say this right now. I really loved Chris Evans's when all he said was eat shit. I'm like, yeah, is that what you would have said too, Naka?
Probably.
And I just laughed so hard at this, and I am I actually kind of want to see it. What do you guys think?
Wow, it's a whodunit. It's a game of Clue again. It's just Clue.
Oh, we don't know it.
It looks like they did it in an entertaining way. I'll give it that. It doesn't have flair and pizzazz and all that shit. It does look like it should be more entertaining than a regular, murder mystery movie.
It got a really good review, like 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. So maybe
Yeah,
we'll see
but
what
you
happens.
know what 100% on Rotten Tomatoes can do for you? Your movie can still end up like shit.
I don't really know if that's true, but we'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, we're gonna finally move on to a very interesting trailer that I thought was very impacting. That really kind of ends on a sad note. Judy, a legendary performer, arrives in London in the winter of 1968 to perform a series of sold-out concerts to help support herself and her family. Now, Naka, I do have to ask you: do you know what this film is about?
No.
Do you have any idea who the character Judy is?
It's not. No.
Okay. Well, it's about the actress Judy Garland, who was Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, as well as many other musicals, and it's just around the time of her life where she literally has to perform shows in order to support herself, but her life is extremely unstable.
What the
And yeah,
well,
it's
I guess franchising rights and shit weren't a thing back in the 60s.
yeah. And what about you, Krüz? Do you think you'll see this movie?
Honestly, not by myself. I think there's a lot of movies that
It'll
have
be one of the ones I. Sorry.
see with, you'll be like, imagine my says, probably if I go back home and see it with my parents, they might see it.
And what do you have to? Yeah,
Same.
Oh, and what do you have to say regarding this film, Naka?
Same.
Oh, okay. Well,
Because it's
all right.
just the
Well,
truth. You
right,
don't need
well-
to repeat the truth. And also, Jumanji: The Next Level looks like shit.
yes, I do not want to see this film. Jumanji: The Next Level. A group of adults get sucked into the video game where they are now the video game's character. It is literally the sequel to the original
remake.
sequel. Yes, and I don't want to see this film at all. I really don't.
But why did you have to keep going? I mean, people were debating whether or not this sequel was okay. You were like, that was not an invitation to step on the fucking gas pedal and, balls to the wall.
I mean, I don't know. I just don't really know if I want to see it. It just, I look at it and I'm like, no. I don't have anything to say about this film. Naka,
Nope.
Krüz.
Why? Why do we do this?
Do you want me to move on?
Please?
Yes.
All right. Spies in Disguise. A charming, cool spy teams up with the gadget nerd who must rely on each other to save the world.
Why does that remind me of some Jimmy Neutron episodes where spies and then
Three guys. Well, don't forget about we're spies and it's really
Carl.
cold. I can use some hot chocolate. No, I'm just
Carl.
kidding. Anyway, what do you have to say regarding this film?
If it ends up
it
like
looks
that, then I'll go see it. But if not, it'll be like, eh.
Okay, well,
It's at the very fine line between being one of those, a dime a dozen shitty animated kind of goofy comedy films versus being, something more akin to something memorable like The Incredibles. It's walking a very fine line, but I think it's leaning towards being something that's more worth watching.
Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and move on to
As opposed to this.
to another film. This is like the third Yeti film. I don't know. Abominable. A group of kids go on a journey with a magical Yeti to take him back to his family. I'm gonna say this right now. It looks pretty. It looks beautiful. It looks colorful, but I don't really know if I want to see it.
That's a nope from me, Chief.
Really? Now, why is it a no? Why is it a no for you?
It's just not my movie.
Okay,
It's
does
more
it look
geared
pretty?
towards young children. And guess what? I am not a young child. I am an
Oh,
adult
oh.
who drinks beer.
But you like Pixar though.
Yes, but those movies have redeeming qualities
Okay.
that adults can enjoy. This does not. Oh, it's a Yeti.
And,
It's trying to rescue children. Fuck the children.
And no, it's trying to go back to its family. Anyway, Krüz, what do you have to say about this?
This is the other side of that fine line with being remotely memorable 3D animation versus just being like, why?
Yeah.
The kind of versus being like the why are we still here? Kind of like, there's a lot of hit or miss movies, but this one is like one that's not even trying.
Yeah. Oh, Cody, just wait. I'm getting to that. Relax. Anyway, we're gonna move on to our next trailer.
Cody, you run.
We're gonna
Don't
move on.
ever look back.
We're gonna move on to our next trailer. The Addams Family. A creepy, kooky family moved to New Jersey and face off against a greedy, arrogant, and sly reality TV host while also preparing for their extended family to arrive for a major celebration.
If Pubert doesn't show up, I'm going to riot.
Pubert Adams.
If who doesn't show up?
Pubert Adams.
Pubert. Oh my God, this is one of the best moments from Achievement Hunter where Gavin is trying to convince everyone that Pubert Adams was real, and everyone was saying he was wrong. And then Michael looks it up. It says Pubert Adams. And
you mean Pussy Adams?
No, it's
It's Pubert. They had a son later on in the series named Pubert.
Oh, that's Pugsley.
No, it's Pubert.
I literally looked it up. It is literally Pugsley, dude.
Pubert.
I looked it up.
Are you sure about that?
Let me take a look.
The Addams Family Wiki.
I don't know if Pubert is going to be in this film, but
Nastasia baby sees to escape certain death through random chance. A number of times he occasionally shoots flaming arrows, though he's never seen with a bow. His parents considered naming him Lucifer, Benito, or Mao.
Well, I'll give you a good thing about this film. It has Finn Wolfhard in the film.
Pubert Adams.
I would hope that would kind of change your mind.
I mean, maybe, but one actor isn't just going to turn things around.
Why do you like Pubert all of a sudden? I don't get it.
Because
the joke.
Because of Gavin. That's why.
Oh, Gavin.
Okay. My spirit animal.
All right.
Well, let's look at revision trailer for this movie.
Guys.
I thought you were going to say something new, and then I saw my own dislike on it. I'm like,
oh, you literally dislike this film? Holy shit! All right,
shit. Here we're going in the trailer, and I'm like, please, the memes. I'm like, oh shit.
Sonic the Hedgehog. A police officer must now team up with a fast-running hedgehog to defeat an evil scientist. So, interesting fact about this movie, not like one day after its trailer release, which got a huge negative backlash, Paramount Studios decided that, oh yeah, we're going to listen to your requests and redesign the look for Sonic. And yeah, since when does Hollywood ever listen to, general population?
Why does it happen?
Honestly, that was my main drawback. You have Jim Carrey as Eggman.
Jim Carrey is the only good thing about this trailer.
You sold me on that. What killed it for me is Sonic's character design.
Yes.
Wow.
I mean, they're going to change it, and thankfully, it's going to be great. But I don't understand why Paramount is actually listening to the general population for once, because it's really rare.
Even if they do, they
well, it's because they realized that so many people had
going to appease us.
They had so many people interested in this movie, so. Anyway, I'm just waiting on character revisions and then the new trailer coming out, which hopefully does not have Gangster's Paradise, because...
No, Gangster's Paradise was one of the worst song titles you could ever
in the butt last week.
But I don't even know if a re-edit on the design is going to make the film any more good. We'll just have to wait and see.
Jim Carrey as Eggman.
It is a good thing. You do like Jim Carrey, don't you?
I like him when he's not crazy and super political.
Oh, okay. But unfortunately, guys, the furry trip doesn't end here, because we have to talk about another trailer.
I'd rather not.
Cats. A tribe of cats must decide yearly which one will ascend to the Heavenside layer and come back to a new life. Oh my god, this looks bad.
This is a yikes for me, dog, and that's all I'm gonna say. It's a yikes for me, dog, and we should move on because I don't want to talk about this godforsaken movie. I saw the musical. The musical is what
great.
Cats is supposed to be, not this shit.
Now I have a question. Did you like the musical?
I'm not a fan of musicals, but it was entertaining to say the least. I was entertained for that couple of hours.
Oh, well, I'm glad to hear that. Were the costumes more popular than the CG?
I would say yes.
Shit.
I've only seen a school play rendition of this thing, and I honestly don't know. I'm sorry, my roommate is blowing his nose through that. But I'm just like, this is like that meme of the whole thing about Elon Musk like making cat girls squeal. It's like upgrade, fuck, go back.
So you want to know? So you actually want to know something funny? The term furries was actually trending on Twitter, but it's kind of funny how even the furry fandom doesn't even want to see this movie because it looks so godforsaken bad.
So bad. It's so bad.
The animation looks horrible. The CGI looks awful.
It's like Thundercats, except it sucks.
I know. Anyway, do you want me to move on to
Please, we're almost done.
Yes, we're almost done. Our next film, which I am definitely probably not going to see and probably going to wait until Disney Plus, but even then I get to choose whether or not I want to go see it.
I'm not seeing these next two. I'm just not seeing them.
Mistress of Evil. The complex relationship of an evil fairy and princess continues to be explored as they face new threats to the magical land of Moors. What do you guys have to say regarding this?
Don't care. Move it on. Actually, no, I don't care about the next one either because it's basically just shit on.
You mean the
Krüz?
ones that took over Spain?
Krüz, what do you have to say about this film?
I saw this trailer and I'm like, do you mean the ones that took over Spain? I'm not sure. I know people. No, this was a different thing. But yeah, I'm like Maleficent. I'm like, Disney, please, just I don't. That's all I'm like, I don't.
All right, well,
that's it. I don't.
So we're gonna move on to the next trailer, which is Mulan. A daughter of a family decides to take her father's place in the army and is tested to embrace her true potential while disguised as a man. And yeah, I'm probably not going to see this movie.
No Eddie Murphy, no Watchy.
So why do you not want to see this film, Naka?
They removed Mushu. They removed Eddie Murphy.
No Eddie Murphy. No
but this
Murphy.
Is,
no
now
Watch.
I have something I need to tell you. Truthfully, this is actually trying to take a historical front on the legend of Mulan.
Is it?
Well, then call it the Legend of Mulan, not just call it Mulan.
Well, that's what they're calling it. So get over it.
Is it? Is it really?
It's supposed to be a historical event, but we'll see how well they tell historical how they tell historical
by actually going to China.
Great
for a
job,
week.
you make Cody puke. Good job.
I would never go to China unless I went to Hong Kong, and that's the only time I would ever go to China.
I don't consider Hong Kong as a part of China, for several reasons, but.
But guys, but thank God we're almost done. We have 3 more trailers left to go. So onward. It's a Pixar film set in a magical world where technology has now become the norm. 2 elves embark on a quest to discover if the magic still exists to spend one day with their deceased father.
Oh, so is it Full Metal Alchemist?
I don't really know, but we'll just have to wait and see. But in all seriousness, this does look interesting to say the least. Would you say, Naka?
Maybe.
I like
it's a Pixar film, dude. It's quality.
I like the whole thing came up with fucking, whoever his brother or cousin shows up with like the full 80s rock van.
Mm-hmm. He's like, let's go on an adventure, bro.
Oh, shit.
The thing about gazebos, they're bullshit.
Yeah, funny.
Gazebos, they're bullshit.
But would you plan to see on this movie since it is owned by Pixar?
Probably.
And you Krüz?
it's definitely one of the better looking ones that I've seen in a while. So probably, yeah.
Well, all right. Well, we're gonna move on to our next trailer. All right, guys. Well, get ready to cry. A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. The true story relationship between a man who captivated millions to learn and love with a journalist. I want to see this film. I really do. I love Mr. Rogers. I grew up listening to Mr. Rogers. If you guys never saw the documentary, Won't You Be My Neighbor, you really owe yourself to watch it. It was really good. And that's really all I have to say regarding this trailer. Naka, Krüz?
Controversial. I've never actually watched Mr. Rogers.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I did as a kid. I mean, it's kind of like the kind of childlike, entertaining thing. I don't know. The biggest controversy I ever knew that was regarded with him was whether he was in the army or not, which apparently wasn't true. But I mean, regardless of whatever other shit went on, that the message that the whole production and show sent was something positive. Not to say that excuses anything else, whatever would have went on, but it definitely did, it did pro that kind of, it was a reassuring comfort, I guess, to young people in that time. And
but would you definitely see this movie? I mean, it stars Tom Hanks, and everything he touches is gold.
Maybe.
Krüz?
But again, it's just because I never grew up with Mr. Rogers, and I completely understand why people could be upset about that. But I also completely understand why so many people love him, and I understand what his work did for so many people. Yeah. And I respect that, and I respect him for that. I'm not going to shit on Mr. Rogers because there's nothing to shit on about him.
Yeah, he's a great person. He really did what he could to really teach people how to be who they are, and that's a really good thing. So I guess we'll just have to wait until we get to the next part, which is to get to the next the last trailer, which, if you couldn't tell, I've been trying to save up for the longest time. Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. A year after the events of The Last Jedi, the film now takes a dark and unexpected turn as old allies and old foes come back for one final battle.
Have y'all seen Darth C-3PO?
Yes.
Have y'all seen Darth C-3PO? I hope this is not a complete dumpster fire like The Last Jedi was.
I mean, yeah. I mean, the Last Jedi had some good things about it. Give it that, but you can't even give it that, can you?
Yeah.
Naka, Krüz, what do you think?
I mean, they made it clear they're trying to establish a new, not a new storyline, but a new part of the storyline with the whole Star Wars thing.
I mean, what I want to see is Rey the first canonical, movie canon instance of a dark side Jedi.
Yeah. I want to see what it's going to be like.
She's a Jedi, but, she follows more Sith-like elements, but isn't a Sith.
Right, and the one thing I do want to bring up, and that I really hope is not true, is that there were rumors that the script was leaked that the Darth Rey that you see was a clone of the original Rey, and if they actually go that way, no.
Oh, boo.
Yeah, no, that would be a terrible way to tell a story. Yeah, no, just no. You don't agree with that, do you, Naka?
No, that's stupid.
Yeah, that's really stupid.
That would be such a cop-out.
Yes,
I know.
That's what I said.
Anyway. Well, guys,
that's it.
That is it. Oh, I thought that show would never be over.
Can I go eat now?
Yes.
Hey, you said I couldn't. You didn't say I couldn't say it until after we were done, and we're done now. Give us your money.
Yes, give us your money. Oh, by the way, you have an image to show from 3 frozen noodles, I believe, right?
Yes. I will just show this off real quick. I forget. Here we go. Save it here.
So why don't you tell a little bit about this image, Naka?
Three Frozen Noodles is making a custom bus, a custom set bus. And this is a work in progress. They have not posted an updated one because I believe they said they were going to add a decal on the side or somewhere. But this is a work in progress. And hey, we're getting custom artwork.
Yeah. And, I really like it. I like how it looks, and I just hope that it's actually really well done. And yeah, that's really all I have to say. So, it looks beautiful. It really does. I really like it.
Boys, boss.
I did say that the next time we get art, it will be inside a bus, and I hope that is true. And I literally hope that is true. Don't you, Naka?
I mean, sure. Yes.
Yes. Anyway, guys, that is it. That's our show for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I am tired. This has been a very long episode. Yes, I promise our next episode will not be long as this one.
Thank you.
Anyway, guys, my name is Scarfy.
I'm Naka.
And I'm Krüz.
And this has been Subwuffer Entertainment. We hope you have a fantastic night and stay good and stay awesome. Have a good night, folks.
All right. Have a good night, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.